Hello, people. Welcome back to my show. This is Sunday, 6 p.m. I'm running a little bit late. Hey, what's up,
What's up,
Jason?
Danny? How's it going, man?
Just all right. Just letting people know. Welcome to the show, Equilibrium. Terrence is running a little bit late, as am I. Uh, Wife had some errands we do last minute. But that's here nor there.
It's all
Before we
good.
get started, I just want to tell everybody, thanks for coming to the show. It's been about 2 weeks now since I was on here, and now I'm finally back. Um, I'm still looking to try to get my 1,500 subscribers. I can only do that with your help. I'm not right now. Currently, I'm at 1160. I think 1165 last time I checked. So I'm getting there slowly but surely. But please, any of these streams that I upload, please share. Please tell your friends to subscribe. It's much needed, much wanted. Also, hit the like button. Give me a thumbs up during this stream, and also because it lets me know that you like what I'm doing, and I appreciate that. Also, leave a comment. Any comments that you leave, I will respond to. I'll try to respond to them as quickly as I can. Also, hit notification bell because I don't want you to miss any material that I upload. I mainly do shows every Sunday on this platform, which is called Equilibrium. It's mine and Terrence show and Jason's. We talk just about every Sunday about different topics that happen throughout the week. Also, tomorrow night you can catch me on the Chaotic Conversation. That would be involving me, Chris Knight, Sean Stackhouse, Terrence, and Maz Mama Bear. Our topic tomorrow will be our 5 favorite DC animation movies. We will be ranking them 1 through 5. So please, if you get opportunity, please check me out tomorrow night here on the same channel at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, so Jason, it's been a minute. What you been up to, bro?
Nothing, man. Just chilling. I haven't really been doing much, Just
Social
home,
distancing.
watching movies and stuff like that. That's about it.
Have they opened back up where you at? Or they starting to open
Nope.
back up?
They're starting to. Supposedly May 25th, they're supposed to open stores up for a bit. Only stores that you can go in through the outside. No malls or anything like that. So hopefully.
Well, they're opening up slowly and surely where I'm at here in good old South Carolina. Now we always had drive-throughs. Now we got restaurants that if they have outside seating, they're opening that up.
Oh, we don't
Um,
have none of that yet. None of that.
Monday we'll find more stuff we opening up, but I think they're opening up. Shoot, they're talking about having summer school now for our kids, and,
They opened up schools here too.
and starting schools back in July instead of August to try to
Mm.
make up some of that time. I think that's well. I won't get into what I think. That's politics, but I think it's some of this right here.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Even here, the high schools aren't open, but elementaries and daycares, they're opening those back up here. So we'll see. A lot of people don't want to send their kids to school, though. They don't want to do it.
The ones that do, because daycare is not open and they don't have anywhere to send their kids. So I'm
Hmm.
hearing on our news here that they're trying to really work with some of the daycares to try to see if they can start opening them up. 'Cause then that will free up some parents that can go back to work. So it's crazy. I hope I wish they could keep it closed out for at least another month to at least
Hmm.
June, middle of June. I'd be happy.
Hmm. Make sure at least the curve goes down. You know what I mean? So far, at
Yeah,
least here, the curve hasn't gone down yet. So
yeah, yeah. It's crazy. What's up, Terrence?
What's up?
what's up, Terrence?
We were just talking a little bit about this social distancing and things are slowly opening back up in certain parts of the country. I thought I
Oh
saw
yeah,
something on YouTube about AMC theaters opening back up. I thought I read that briefly this morning.
yeah. They're considering it because um, the death rates have been dropping significantly compared to a month ago. Um, and you have about 288,476 some odd humans that are dead from it, but the number of individuals that recovered from it, and then when you compare that to the overall entire human species, those numbers are really small in comparison in terms of anything negative that has happened. But due to the fear of humans, usually sparked by them listening to social media, specifically the news, which gives you a lot of wrong information, they tend to panic, and that leads to various things that are bad.
Yep, 100%.
So
100%.
yeah, it just, I mean, there are many reasons as to why I don't like humans. Like this situation just helps me remember one of the reasons why I don't is because you can count on them to be very silly in these kinds of situations. You know, they're scrambling for answers and they need guidance, which is why you have uh, people in power in place that have their position of power due to the fact that humans have granted them that power. You know, they're incapable of, you know, being a leader. They have to follow whatever is being laid out for them. That is the human condition overall.
Like the toilet paper. I still don't understand that, and I don't think I ever will.
Yeah, that was that was pretty stupid, you know. But you know, when it comes to, I wasn't expecting that specifically to happen, but when it comes to humans panicking, they could do any number of crazy things that in the moment they try to rationalize it, even though if they were to stop for the slightest second and think about things, they would understand that they're overreacting. But to ask them to stop and think is like asking hell to freeze over. It's just not really going to happen.
Okay. Well, the main reason, well, one of the main reasons why we're talking today, and um, earlier this week I saw two reviews. I think one from Terrence. Can y'all hear me? Okay.
Yeah, we got you.
Um,
And,
uh,
and the
sorry,
other,
Danny.
can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't realize that we were live already. I'm late. No, that's bad.
Oh no, I was late too, so you good?
It's okay.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
because I was like, yeah, I was, you know, I don't like to be late. So yeah.
I was late, bro. It was on me.
Oh,
5 minutes till my wife like, can you run to the store? I need some mayonnaise to finish making the chicken salad. No, I was like, really? If my name was
There you
Logan, I probably would have popped my claws.
go.
Been
But
like,
it's
no,
not.
no, you get it.
yeah. I
But it,
guess you are a nicer man than me because I'd have been like, hey, I'm about to do this live stream, so
hey,
you
it's
gonna go
Mother's
get it
Day.
yourself.
It's Mother's Day, and I don't sleep with you, Terrence. I sleep with her.
Yeah, I'd have went too, Danny.
I understand that, but you know,
No,
if I were in
no,
that
no, no,
situation,
no, no, no. You will.
Yeah, I'd
like
have went
I'm
too,
like,
Danny.
nah, like
Marriage is
no.
a game changer, bro.
That's what I heard, but it doesn't have to be. You know,
Yes, it
it does
does.
come down to it.
There's gonna be
It
something
does.
you want. There's gonna be something you want one day, really bad. You're
Hmm.
gonna ask, and they're gonna be like, you remember that Sunday on Mother's Day about 6 years ago? Fuck you. And then you're gonna be pissed off. So my dad
See that
my
that's
dad
the
told
stuff
me when
that
I
I'm gonna
first got
avoid.
married, he said, son, pick your battles. I didn't care
Happy,
about that. I'd rather be
happy
5 minutes.
wife.
Yep. I'd rather be 5 minutes late. And now ain't no animosity or friction in the
Mhm,
air. I went and did what
mhm,
she asked. Now I'm here.
mhm,
And 5 minutes didn't kill me. So
mhm.
I'm cool with it.
Happy
Well,
wife, happy life.
I'm just saying, like it still comes down to a series of choices, and I
Right.
don't care what circumstances I'm in. I'm not compromising myself
Okay. Well, I
to have
choose
it
for
happen.
peace.
Well, hopefully, if I end up in that situation, which I won't, but just hypothetically, she better be rational enough to understand, because I ain't got time for that emotional stuff.
Okay. Well, like I was saying earlier, this week I saw two reviews of a certain movie. Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. I saw one from Terrence, and I saw one from Perk Minded. Similar in some spots, different in some. So I first saw it. What really made me kind of like, well, dog, because I said, well, let me. I saw Justice League Dark, the first one, years ago, but I couldn't remember. I was like, so dog, will it make sense if I watch Apocalypse and not watch the first one? So I went on Prime Video and Justice League Dark. Well, you can rent it for $3. I said, cool. So I watched that, and as the show played, I remembered, okay, yeah, I remember this, and this. So I'm going to get Justice League Dark, and I'm thinking it's $3. No, it's like $21. Like, oh, I
Mm-hmm.
really want to pay $21. Watch this. I went ahead and click it, and man, I'm glad I did because from the first 10 minutes, I was like, this must be some kind of alternate universe or something because there ain't no way they're getting their ass handed to them like this. They're getting compromised by Cyborg of all people. But shit,
Mm-hmm.
45 minutes later, nope, that shit's real. And like, damn. So, me and Terrence talked briefly about this earlier today. I think this Justice League Dark Apocalypse War is the most like what the hell movie I've seen DC animated series yet. So,
Mm-hmm.
so what are your thoughts on that?
Thought it was very brutal. It was very good. I mean, from the start, like you said, from the first 10 minutes, I was like, "Oh man, wow, really?" Yeah, and I like the way they do Darkseid too, like from Justice League War. So he's like one of those heroes you don't fuck with, and he was just listening to everything they said, and he said, "Okay, come for me," and he ripped them apart, man. He ripped them apart. I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
So, do you think if he hadn't tapped into Cyborg, see what they and hear what they were planning, do you think he would have been that successful?
Probably not.
Yes,
You do?
yes, because
Okay. Hmm.
it doesn't matter if it's like animation or the comics. Like Darkseid just shows up and he beats the crap out of the Justice League all the time, including Superman. Like he doesn't have to hear their plans. Like for the sake of this plot, it made him get to them faster. But if the plot was going to be that he's going to destroy them, there are many ways that he can do that without having
I've
to hear
I've
and
never
see the plan.
seen I've never seen Darkseid this powerful. I've never seen it. I've never seen the comic books. I've never seen it on the other animations. I've never seen him
Well,
this. This is the most powerful I've ever seen him.
well, well here, well,
Yeah, go ahead.
well, here's the thing. Like, this is not the most powerful I've seen him at all. Like, there's a difference between them showing him like brutally murdering people and them not showing it, but he could have done that anytime. It's just the storyline didn't entail for that. Because if you can beat people up, you can rip them apart. It's just they didn't write it that way. Like this movie is rated R. In any sort of story where it's PG-13 or they're trying to tell a friendly story, they're not going to have a character brutally murder people. It's going to be done a certain way. Like you're talking about a character that can literally make himself as powerful as an entire universe, which is something that he's done multiple times in the comic books. Like, so my surprise only came from the fact that they did it, not the fact that like, oh, he's this powerful. I was not surprised by his power at all. It's just only the shock that they wrote him to rip these people apart. Because normally when I'm like watching stuff, I say stuff like, "Oh, rip him apart, tear off his head and stuff."
So,
Tear him apart and stuff like that. But
what was that thing you always looking for? The Annie equation or something like that?
yeah,
Hmm.
Okay, there was a animation movie a few years back, and I think he found it in them. If I'm not mistaken, he and Lex Luthor kind of merged. They became some kind of super being. Is that
hmm,
you remember that one?
yeah,
Okay, in that movie, he did not seem that brutal. In fact, Batman was able to. I think that's the movie where he's able to dodge his Omega beams. In this movie, I mean, they didn't stand a chance. And I didn't see his normal sons like Calabac, and then the other one that's like the scientist and the mama. I can't think her name. Mama
Well,
something. I
well,
didn't see
that's what
any
I'm
of them.
saying.
It
Like,
looked like it was just him and the parademons. Then the parademons had a boost because they were like mixed with the parademons and with Doom.
Doom.
I mean, with
is
yeah,
it? Well, here, but this is what I'm saying. His power level has not changed at all. It's just they have to allow him to do that. Like in these other storylines, when he fights the Justice League, there's more back and forth because that's the traditional way. But if you write Darkseid in a moment where he wants to murder people, that's exactly what he can do. In the same way that Superman could do the same thing. That's why you have like, well, how come Superman didn't do this here? And it's just like, well, that's not what the story was about. He wasn't supposed to show up and destroy a planet with his heat vision, but he can
okay,
absolutely do that anytime that he wants to.
But the
okay.
Doom parademons helped out a lot, though, right? Because if they were just regular parademons, the Justice League would run right through them.
Yeah. The parademons or paradooms, like being a mixture of
Paradooms.
parademons and Doomsday,
Mm-hmm.
sure that definitely helped with the slaughter factor, but he doesn't need that. It's just for the sake of the story. Like
Yeah,
when you
of
have
course.
numbers, it helps you to exact your plan faster versus if you have to just kind of go in there and do
Yeah,
it by yourself.
kind of
It's
Mm-hmm.
like
just
Thanos had those up that army.
Mm-hmm.
right, but in the context of Thanos, like his is more when you have like his children, the Ebony Maw and Corvus Clave and Proxima Midnight and people like that. They're actually each one of them is actually really really powerful. Which in the case of the Infinity War movie, all those characters had to be dumbed down in terms of their power because otherwise they would have slaughtered the Avengers. Like if they were to accurately portray those characters, Ebony Maw would have killed Strange, Cap would have disintegrated upon catching a Proxima Midnight staff. Like just shit wouldn't happen a certain way. So like they have to write them to accommodate the story. So once you know that, then it's just at that point you can decide if you prefer that sort of approach to your characters and storyline. But then if you don't know, then you just kind of chalk it up to oh, I thought it was cool or I didn't think it was cool. It'd be much more simplistic in terms of how you feel about it.
I got some comments in the chat. I'm gonna go to this one right here. Said a Ninjoid. Apocalypse War was a rip off of Endgame, in my opinion. I don't think so.
I don't. I disagree too.
See,
I see the
see, I,
similarities, but but
I
I,
Ninjoid,
I would love to,
Ninjoid,
I would love to see this in live action.
Oh yeah.
Ninja, Ninja, you're cool and I respect you, but I was waiting for a human to say that because every time that DC does something like, I'm not saying that this is you necessarily, Ninja, but it's just I was expecting this because normally like humans wait to piss on DC stuff and they try to discredit them. It's like, oh, like, well, it's Marvel and Marvel. Like, no. like, like DC was doing their thing before Marvel came along. Just Marvel happens to be the more, let's cheer for it nowadays. But this storyline is nothing like the Infinity Gauntlet storyline. It's completely different. And in fact, if
Mm-hmm.
I were to compare it, Endgame is like Nickelodeon compared to Apocalypse War, which is HBO Max. If you want to make comparisons, like this dude showing up, doing a snap, and then everybody lives happily ever after while they're wrecking the timeline. That's all fun, right? Catching Mjolnir. Like that's not the same thing as heroes being brutally murdered and begging for mercy. You will never see that in an MCU movie, ever.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely right. And
You
they
you're
got
talking about
murdered.
you
They
You
got
it's
murdered.
family. It's it got murdered, Jason.
The Green
like
Lantern, bro.
they got slaughtered. There's no way that they would compromise a family movie in the MCU and even do half of the first 10 minutes of what we saw in Apocalypse War. You're not gonna see that. It's not happening.
I don't even think the MCU would do that in their animated ones.
No, they don't. They're Well,
I don't.
to be
I don't think
fair,
they would do anything like that.
right? To be fair, if it's not like the X-Men or the Spider-Man from the 90s or like Avengers Earth Mightiest Heroes and maybe like Planet Hulk and their animated
Mm-hmm.
Doctor Strange movie, You're talking
Mm-hmm.
about like 99% of their shows and films are really, really bad. They suck at
Mm-hmm.
animation.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
DC fucking flexes all over them when it comes to animation. There's no
I agree.
comparison.
100%. 100%. The Doctor Strange one was, I think, one of the only ones that I really, really liked. The other ones were like okay and then trash. You
Right,
know what I
right,
mean?
exactly. So this is again, it depends on who you talk to because like I told a bunch of humans in the past, and I feel like I'm going to always say this again because it'll keep coming back to that. But there's nothing wrong with being biased. It's not a crime, but at that point, you can't really trust the person's opinion if they do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
if they're gonna be biased.
I don't know if he was being biased or anything. I'm
What?
just like I don't understand where he's seen that it
I
was
just
the
got
same.
it out of the drawer. Like,
You know,
yeah, yeah,
I don't see where he's seen it was the same. It was like I get it. I guess all the heroes getting together at the end, but I mean, even with that, they really didn't. It was Superman, that did most of the damage. So,
exactly. And I'm pretty sure you guys saw when Trigon did a fusion with Superman.
mm-hmm,
That is something that was also an oh my god moment because
I wasn't even impressed with what Superman did. It took Lois Lane to grab it, get his senses, and then once he lost her, I didn't see this ultimate Superman that can destroy everything. I didn't see it. He got a few punches in, but it was like he was there. Only thing he did was put his fingers in his eyes,
mm-hmm.
kind of destroy him. But to get this ultimate ass whipping, like I hear Superman supporters say, I didn't see it in that movie.
okay, well here's the thing though. You cannot skip over one of the most important moments, which is the fact that he regained all of his strength. You, for Superman to be infused with kryptonite like that, that should have killed him, number one, which is something that people overlook. He should have died from that. He didn't die, and then in a moment, he managed to completely go back to normal. And this was without the assistance of the sun, too, by the way. This was just his sheer willpower as Superman. So when you compare that to, say, every other Marvel or DC character that you know, when they get tired and when they deal with their weakness, they don't regenerate like that. They stay where they are.
Maybe
Like
they don't,
Captain America.
but Batman was able to see his son get killed like that, and then he's able to snap his control.
Okay, but there's a difference between regaining the control of your mind and replenishing your power. Both of which are incredible feats, right? You know, incredible in Batman's case that you were able to overcome the programming of Darkseid. I mean, I feel like 99% of characters, including Green Lanterns, would not be able to do that. But at the same time, for you to replenish your power after being tortured by Darkseid is just incredible. I don't really need to see you destroy Darkseid, which I've seen him do before. That alone is the more impressive part. Because I've seen Superman beat people up a lot. So it's just at that point, it's like, I expect him to do that. But what I don't expect is for him to replenish himself that quickly. It was like as soon as she died, he went right back to normal. I'm like, that is some crazy shit. That's Superman stuff right there.
I ain't
But
impressed as you are on that.
but he got his powers back before that, no?
No, no, he was like before that he was virtually human, and then
Yeah, and then the demon went inside of him. Can't remember the
yeah,
name, Jumanji or
Trigon.
whatever. Trigon
Yeah,
went inside of him
Trigon.
and then
Mhm,
burned his
mhm.
chest. And then when he came
Yep,
out, Superman had his powers.
exactly.
Okay.
So, uh, first of all, in order for Superman to survive Trigon's possession,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, so in order for Superman to overcome or to survive Trigon's possession, is that's just something that shouldn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
He like anyone that gets possessed by Trigon like that, they should be killed.
Jason, I have learned that whatever point you bring about Superman, you wasting your breath.
Well, I mean, okay, but to be fair though, Danny, like I know how you feel about Superman, but I am telling you that the two things that he was able to do in that movie, that from all my knowledge about Superman, the two most impressive moments is one, you survived a possession by Trigon. Number two, you replenished your entire power without anything to do with the sun. So to me, I'm like, that shit is impressive. He doesn't have to do anything else.
Okay, so how did he get his power back?
Because like, okay, here's the thing with Superman.
There, there's
I
not
feel like
there's not a red sun, to my knowledge, in Apocalypse. So
no,
anything
no.
with a red sun is going to take his power. It's going to replenish his power.
Yes, I understand that. But see, the thing that you have to remember is that Superman, whenever he's in a vulnerable position, he's not completely vulnerable. Like whenever these discussions come out, like, oh, we'll just take away the sun. I'm like, that is a stupid argument because it takes him a long time to completely lose every ounce of his strength with the absence of the sun. It's not instantaneous.
Well, it seemed pretty instantaneous in Red Sun. And the Russian Batman put him in that dark room with the red lights that
Blue
simulate
lights.
the red sun.
Okay,
Mhm.
but
In a
if
minute,
you want to
a
use
minute, a minute,
if you want
a
to
minute.
use that example though, we have to be fair about the situation. You're talking about a character named Batman that specifically concentrated a lot of energy to zap him that quickly. It was designed by him to do that. He needed to immobilize him in an instant. That was the whole point of that situation. Because otherwise, it wouldn't work that quickly.
It's just like I said, whatever point I bring up, y'all Superman lovers gonna be like, nope. He does this,
Well,
he
no,
does
no,
that.
no, no, no,
So
no, no.
I'm not even going to debate Superman power anymore. Y'all
I,
win.
no, Danny. Like this is
You
not
win.
about. No, I'm just trying to tell
You
you,
win.
Danny.
You win.
Danny,
Superman is the best.
Danny,
Everybody else
this is
is
not about
trash.
you being Danny, I didn't say that you were wrong. I'm just saying that you said that you were not impressed, and my position is that I was because I know a lot about that character inside and out. So
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that you have to feel that way. I'm only
oh,
expressing why I
I
thought it was amazing.
test. The eye test. Your point said just now that he replenished himself, and people said, you just said, people say whenever he's exposed to red kryptonite, whatever, or take away the yellow sun, he's not vulnerable. Okay, I just show you a point that they made that the instant he was out of the yellow sun and red sun, he was weak as me and you because that Batman punched him and he bled. I
Yeah,
didn't make
no, I'm
that
not
shit
saying that
up.
he's not. I'm not saying that he's not weak. I'm saying that it's not instantaneous unless
It
the
was
situ.
instantaneous because
Yeah,
5 seconds
yes, in
ago,
that situation, yes, in the Batman situation, it was. But again, that was a higher concentration coming from a bunch of lamps that emitted red sun. That's not a normal situation compared to if it just happens naturally or he
I
happens
agree.
to end up
I
in an
agree
environment.
1,000%. But I'm saying
Mhm.
if I'm going up against Superman, I'm going to research all of his weaknesses. What I know is his weaknesses is his mama and Lois Lane, Red Sun, and Kryptonite and magic. Those are his weaknesses. I ain't made this shit up. The people that create DC made that up. So
I
if I'm the ultimate Batman, that's what the hell I'm gonna do.
no, you're right. But here's the thing, though. Everything that you just named, a bunch of DC characters have tried it and got their asses whooped. All
Okay,
of them.
but Batman v Superman was 2 seconds of mosquitoes heartbeat away from killing Batman. I mean,
What? What? Oh,
killing
uh,
Superman.
yes, yes, that's true. But we are talking about a Kal-El that just barely learned how to fly a couple of months before. He's inexperienced.
Man, I can't
Like
help.
at the
Okay.
time, at the
Okay.
time,
So no, go ahead, Terrence. I got one for you though. Go ahead.
yeah, at the time, like if you read the Dark Knight Returns comic book, when
Mm.
Batman fights Superman, they've been heroes and doing their thing for over 50 years.
Okay,
Beats
That
him in
would
that
be
comic.
different.
here's another point.
Beats him in that comic.
He does, but here's the
Because
thing though.
Superman was defeated by
But this goes back to what I said time and time again. I don't care who I'm talking to about Superman. Superman being defeated is not impressive because he's been defeated before. Every single time that he loses, it's always circumstantial. In the case of Batman, why did he lose there? he's like, look, I don't want to fight you. I don't want to have to do this. It's not like he just showed up and heat visioned him to death. It doesn't matter what kind of armor he makes. If Superman amps up his heat vision, Batman turns to dust. But if you do that, then you don't have a storyline. You have to make it as to where Superman is vulnerable or he can lose. It's the same thing when he fights Black Adam, who is a character that not only has magic, but he has the strength to fight him. That makes it interesting. Superman can win eventually, but he's going to struggle. He's probably going to get beat the first time around. And if he doesn't die, then he will win the next time around. That's just basic storytelling 101. That's not impressive.
Okay. Lord Torrena said, "Why did Dark Side keep Batman alive?" Basically, Dark Side ran all his generals and what Wayne was his main general, but he kept all the contingency plans and kept stuff flowing smooth. And if Dark Side had a plan or a plan of attack, he accommodated and made the stuff easier for Dark Side to conquer.
That's the thing.
That's
Batman is the master detective, right? So why not keep him alive and have him strategize on how to defeat the rest of the Justice League or the
or anybody else.
Suicide Squad? Exactly.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
exactly. That was smart because he is a master strategist. It helps Darkseid exact his goals and plans all the more quicker. So whenever whether it's like an animated movie or live action or comic book, there is something called context. And for the sake of storytelling, why is it that this character is doing this here? Like for example, you have Batman dodging Darkseid's Omega beams over here, but then he gets his ass beat by the Penguin, right? So they're just like, well, how does that make any sense? Well, it's based on the story. Like if you have an opponent or you have a bunch of characters, you have to write them in a way that it's going to make sense for the story. Otherwise, you don't have a story. So you can't like go, well, the character doesn't normally do this. Well, that's true, but in this storyline, the character has to do this to make this story work. Like I just mentioned with Thanos' children versus the Avengers. Those Avengers should have got their shit raped like 30 times over, but that wouldn't be interesting to have them show up and die in 2 seconds.
Okay.
Who wants to see that? Who wants to go to see Avengers movie, dun, 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 and then they show up and they die and it's like credits after 2 minutes? Nobody want to see that shit.
Dana Zero X random question: Who is the Beyonder and why is he so powerful? Go ahead with
Oh,
that
the
one.
Beyonder. Oh yeah, the Beyonder works for the one above all. You have the one above all, which is essentially the god of the Marvel universe, right? So you have the one above all, and then you have the living tribunal, and then you have the Beyonder. So those are basically his left and right hand man. So the Beyonder, he normally shows up like in his case the storyline, the other Secret War storyline, where he just kind of gathered up a bunch of characters and he created a planet for them to fight on. And he's like, I want to see who's the strongest. So you all fight to the death. Whoever wins, then you receive a reward from it. So he's that kind of asshole. His whole thing is to watch and observe. And then if he wants to have fun, then he just slaughters people. Or if he does something because the one above all asks him to do something. But usually, like if you look at the one above all, he's only been in like a couple of Marvel storylines because he's too powerful. He has no reason to be there because he could just show up and blink people out of existence. So you essentially like in the case of Peter Parker, he showed up to give him advice. But the Living Tribunal and the Beyonder, they're also not in a lot of stories. Their stories are very limited because of how powerful they are. They normally do not feel the need to interfere with the lower beings, as they call them, because everybody, for the most part, they're under them. They're over everybody. They're like, you are ants in comparison to us. So that's how powerful the Beyonder is. You don't mess with him. You don't mess with the Living Tribunal. If they show up, you need to kill yourself because they're going to give you a worse fate than that if you don't.
Doom took his power though.
Say
In
again,
Secret
Jason?
Wars. Doom took his power in Secret Wars.
Yeah.
You know what
But,
I mean?
Dr. Doom has dealt with a lot of Marvel characters. But here's the thing, though. That's another one of those circumstantial storylines. I'm like, why the hell? Why can you just have the Beyonder just erase him from existence? He could have done that. But if you're trying to uplift the Doom character, you can't write it that way. Whenever you introduce Doctor Doom, you have to show him as being the smartest man in the room, with maybe
Mm-hmm.
someone like Reed Richards as his competition. You have him conquer things. You have him beat up the Avengers and the X-Men at the same time. You have him do stuff like that. That's important to elevate and show the seriousness of the character. You have to do your characters, villains or superheroes. You have to establish a point. Like, what does this character do most of the time? You work within that stratosphere, but every once in a while, for the sake of storytelling, you either have them lose or win, whatever they're normally accustomed to doing. You kind of flip it on his head to keep things interesting. But for all intents and purposes, though, the Beyonder could just slaughter the shit out of Doctor Doom. That's just no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
So like the storyline where Joker with Mr. Mxyzptlk, it's like that doesn't really happen where he's gonna trick him and he ends up giving Joker his power and stuff like that. That's a very one-off kind of storyline. Mxyzptlk could just show up and blink and then explode Joker into a billion pieces. But again, that's not how you do storytelling. Like, even me being a Superman fan, if I made a Superman movie, I'm not gonna make it like Captain Marvel where he doesn't get his ass beat. He's gonna get beat up and then he wins in the end. That's how you do your storytelling. You have to get the audience behind the character. They have to feel like this character is not going to succeed. So that way, when he or she does, then you feel uplifted by it. You're in the moment. Like Cap in Endgame, when he was literally like about to fight Thanos and his entire army by himself, you feel captivated by that because you want him to win, even if it doesn't seem like he has a chance, but you're still behind him 100%.
Yeah. It's all for storytelling. That makes sense.
Lord Tyrannus writes, "Why did Darkseid even keep the Justice League alive? They serve no purpose but to be Darkseid's dysfunctional slaves." You just answer your own question.
That's it. Darkseid was fucking with them. You know what I mean? Like,
I,
yeah, you
I,
work for
I
me.
got one for you. Why does, and this is something that's been answered in the comments, but it's like, okay, why doesn't Mr. Mxyzptlk erase everybody from existence? They've already answered that. Now, with what you just said, you answered your own question, but in the case of that, he wants people to play with.
Mm-hmm.
If you
Mm-hmm.
erase everybody, you have
Mm-hmm.
nobody to play with.
Play with.
That's the answer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, not every villain is like the Joker, where they just want to murder everybody. Like, there's some of them, they're evil, but they still have certain plans. Maybe it might be that grandmother that they like, or that one friend that they have in the whole universe. Whatever it is, you can always find something.
Mm-hmm. I mean, why rather rule the universe than destroy it, right? You know what I mean?
Right. Now in my case, if I had a bunch of powers,
Oh
I
Lord.
feel like it would just, I feel like it would just depend because, naturally there would have to be a lot of destruction, but I'm also
I stay,
fascinated with the
I
idea of
stay, I
power.
stay in my cave. Never come out.
Wait, hold on. Why are you in a cage, Danny? That makes no sense. You're supposed to be experiencing all the luxuries that I have provided due to my
Because
role.
one day you might snap. Fuck you there. Snap. I be damn.
So hold on. Like, I've heard this many times from my friends. They're like, one day you're gonna snap and kill us. I'm like, you do understand that I don't like betrayal, right? That's the one thing that I just really dislike. Betrayal. If you're my friend, you're supposed to be comforted by my presence. To me, that's considered betrayal because you trusted me only for me to turn you into dust or whatever it is. That's messed up. I do that.
Yeah, but
Like
when
humans, if
you
I'm
talk about stuff,
cautious,
you
know
said
them and
what he
don't
said.
care about them, so that's not betrayal.
What he said earlier, Jason, about you're not gonna compromise with himself or something. If so, how about if
Okay.
my views and opinions go against your views and opinion, and you the all powerful king? I keep saying nope, nope,
Okay.
Terrence. It ain't about Terrence. It's about Danny. What you gonna do?
Okay, but here's the thing. If you want to bring up I said earlier about me not compromising myself, these things still fall the way that I conduct my life. Like, or strangers, there will
Look,
be. I'm not
you
talking
might be,
about
you might be in a bad spot where you
argues
keep going kind of in and out.
but when get an argument where they're mad at each other and stupid shit like that,
Terrence,
things can happen.
Terrence,
Say and do things that they don't mean.
Terrence,
Mm-hmm.
Terrence. I think you're in a bad
Yeah,
spot.
what's up?
You keep going in and out.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Now I can.
Now.
Okay. Okay, yeah. No, I was saying that you know, it doesn't matter if your views are different from mine. That's okay. As long as there's no like silly ass anger or something because, you have a certain way of thinking. I'm like, no, like I'm still gonna conduct myself. In fact, my entire life has been nothing but my mindset being completely different from everybody around me. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to destroy them because they think different from me, especially if they're a friend. That's not gonna happen.
Okay.
Because my whole thing is to never say things to convince humans. I don't care what humans think. They're gonna think how they're gonna think, and I'm gonna be Terrence. So that doesn't matter. That's my entire life. That's part of my story. So no, if I'm in a position of power, Danny, and you're just like, oh no, Terrence, and this and that, that doesn't mean I'm gonna kill you. And that's not me compromising. It's me showing my loyalty to you because you're a friend. That's part of my rules. Is that I don't betray people. Now, if you decided to try to kill me or something, then at that point, then you've betrayed me and all that. Basically, the contract gets revoked. It gets destroyed
It's
because
null and void.
yeah. So at this point, you wouldn't be a friend anymore because you try to murder me. So now at that point, I could just do whatever I want to you. But you would have to do something like that for me to even consider harming you, or even I feel like for me just to put you in a cage, you would have to be doing extreme stuff, like to where you're trying to undermine me or something. You want me to give you an example of that?
No.
Charles Xavier and Magneto. Oh no, see that relationship. Like if I'm trying to do something and Charles Xavier showing up, like if you start doing shit like that, Danny, then yeah, you have to go in the cage until you
Reason
learn to
why he
behave
was
yourself.
paralyzed.
I know, but I'm just saying.
You see, Danny just made a good point, right?
Well, I mean,
you may,
technically, that's not so much as Magneto's fault as it is. Well, in the movie it is, but in the comics, it just really something fell on him and he got fucked up. But,
Lord
so, I
Tyrannus.
mean,
Go ahead. Does
yeah,
he
no,
only
like
want ale? What is the motivation for Darkseid? Does he only want the ale, or does he want something else? What the hell he talking about ale? He talking about alcohol?
I I think it depends on the story. Sometimes he just wants to fight Superman because Superman is said to be the strongest. It
Yeah.
could be that, or
Like it makes they they dicks hard to fight the Kryptonian. That's how they
Mhm.
refer to him. Kryptonian. You have to. You can
Oh,
imagine
absolutely.
if the whole planet of the Kryptonians had survived.
yeah, he would attack them.
Okay,
It's
but
similar. It's similar that the Kryptons planet blowed up and the Saiyans planet blow up.
yeah, that's where they got it from. A lot of people's stuff they stole from Superman. It's
Oh hell!
all over every single lore. Look at the
Here we go
Thundercat.
again.
It's true. It's true. Look at it.
Oh,
He was first, and then all these other motherfuckers came after. Where do you think they got it from?
oh my
I'm
God!
just saying the facts are there, Jason. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like it's there. You can't deny it. Like somebody has to start the curve, and then
hmm
other people come after it. Somebody has to do it first. You have a planet of people that die, and you have a being that could essentially do everything. He has almost every single power you can imagine. So that means literally, after that, everybody has to be inspired to make their own superheroes. But he came first. His origin came first.
Superman, yeah, it did. It did. And to be honest with you, like superheroes are copied over and over again, right? Green Arrow, Lantern, they're all the same. Like everybody copies certain heroes, maybe not the origin stories
I
of
can
them.
see the Thundercats, but don't nothing make the Saiyans weak.
Well, here's the thing though, like the Saiyan stuff, it really the copied part is really just the planet blowing up and the seemingly sole survivor sent to Earth. That's all Superman shit. and then there's like a couple of Kryptonians left, a couple of Saiyans left. There are immediate parallels that you can draw. Goku is the strongest of his entire species, just like Superman is the strongest of all the Kryptonians. It's the same thing. In that aspect, it is. But then when you branch off into the Dragon Ball lore, it's nothing like Superman, but I'm talking about the starting point for the sake of your storytelling. It was all influenced by Superman as
So
a starting point.
Superman can beat Goku, right?
Absolutely.
Yes, you about to go in timeout.
Danny, do we not have this discussion that there was just that one way that he could win? I thought we talked about this in great
When
detail.
I bring that up to other people, they can't hear it. Oh, they cannot hear it.
See, that's why you
know
got to have your boy.
See,
you got to have
know
your boy on there.
What makes me mad about these discussions is people don't follow the rules. I'm a stickler for following the rules. If I see something on TV, I read it in the book, or we all seen the same movies. But then when you bring up certain points, they pull this shut your ass. But in the comic books, he could do this. No, I ain't saying nothing about no comic books. I'm saying I frame my parameters: live action, or animated, or something we saw on TV. If you follow those rules, then I didn't make. But Superman is susceptible to 5 different kinds. He had 5 weaknesses that I can think off the top of my head. When you start talking to somebody that's a Superman supporter, then we're gonna use Golden Age Superman or Kingdom Come Superman or Plain Superman. What the fuck?
Okay, but here's the thing, Danny.
I hate that. I hate
forget those silly humans. When you're talking to me, you know that I'm going to be fair with the discussion. In fact,
I'm not referring to you. I'm just making a generalized statement, not including you.
Right.
I am frequently frustrated because I live by the rules when it comes to certain things. So if you see on this movie, Batman did this and he did this. People talk about Superman. Okay, Superman is a badass. I'm not saying he's a badass, but a mere mortal was a mosquito's heartbeat away from killing his ass. I can see if they say at the end of the movie it said written, produced by Danny Graham, but it don't say that. So that means I ain't made that shit up.
Right.
That means that the writer made that shit up, and as bad as he is, his ass almost got killed by a mere mortal. I ain't never seen that shit happen.
But here's the thing though. The thing that I would tell those humans is that he's almost been killed by a mortal many times. There was a time where he got shot in the heart with a fucking kryptonite bullet. That had nothing to do with the supervillain. It was just a thug that was mad. So that's why I'm saying, like, whatever these humans are gonna say, I guarantee you, I will be able to combat it and make them look stupid. It doesn't matter what limitations or rules they want to put, because I have too much information. And if they're gonna pull shit out of their ass, they're gonna lose to me every time.
All right, you may have that information. I'm not doubt you do, but I'm just saying when you pull up the facts. I taught somebody, I forgot who it was, and I said, look, if Goku conjure up Shinron and ask for the power to defeat Batman, according to the rules that we've seen on Superman, according to the rules that we've seen on Dragon Ball Z, and according to the rules we've seen in the Superman series, that is a possibility where he could win. If you set somebody else other than you that I've talked to on YouTube and point this out, the excuses come out their ass like damn diarrhea.
And what did I tell you? Yeah, and what did I tell you about that? I even told Sean about this. I'm like, number one, every time you guys tell
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I hear you.
Man, that shit pisses me off, man. God, it pisses me off. That's why I don't even want to discuss it, because it makes me ill. Because you ain't gonna never be able to convince a Superman fan that he ain't the greatest.
Mm-hmm. I feel you.
It's gonna come back on. And you see this question here. Lord Turner says, Injustice, Superman, or Dark Side? Who wins? If it's a Dark Side off of Apokolips War,
Dark Side.
That man, I mean, that sucker boy, he's on a different level.
Mm-hmm.
This sucker killed like all the Green Lanterns by himself.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want no help.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I'm going to Oa and don't disturb me. That's what he told Batman. That was his orders.
Mm-hmm.
And then while he was in the middle of killing their ass, Batman called. He said, I guess this is something that's very important because you disobey my orders.
Mm-hmm. And then he ended up killing him.
All right.
You hear
And
me?
man, well, yeah, we can hear you now. When you
Okay.
bad enough to kill your own, I mean, the whole Green Lantern Corps, then you in a different ballpark. So my answer is Darkseid would win beating Justice Superman.
Yeah, I think he would win too.
Yeah. Like, here's the thing. Like, when it comes to Darkseid and Superman, they can both kill each other. Both has happened plenty of times. So it really is the circumstances. If Superman beats Darkseid, I've seen that before. If Darkseid beats the shit out of Superman, I've also seen that before. So really, you can play up either side, and you're not going to irritate me because this happened before. It's not like you're having Betty Sue just come up and beat up Superman, and she's like some random creation. It's not like you did that. You're putting him up against Darkseid.
Mm-hmm.
So the shit that I was saying before I got cut off is that Danny, those humans that you talk to, they either don't know about Goku or they damn sure don't know about Superman because they say a lot of silly shit. Like it breaks my heart that you have been in these conversations without me because not only would I back up some of the stuff you would say, I would also make them look stupid because they don't know what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe next time I'll give you the bat send the bat call because in fact I ain't even getting no more debates for that because
It's not going to convince.
I'm at the point now where I'm so frustrated and don't give a shit
Mm-hmm.
because I ain't gonna change their mind, so I don't care.
Yeah,
See
exactly.
that
I don't.
that's why I said that earlier. Like I will never approach a situation for the sake of changing their mind. Again, I don't care what humans think, but there is something called this is getting old
Mm-hmm.
because they're literally saying the same shit that I've heard 50 times and they don't
No,
have any information. It's like
no.
you're
I'm
being
I'm all-
biased. There's
but
nothing I can tell you.
I'm all about changing your minds if the facts are there to change your mind. I deal with facts. There's an opinion, but stuff that when I point out when I'm going into a debate, I try to go and research it, and I tell everybody I don't read too many comic books. I don't do that. I don't have time to do that. But I watch every DC, every Marvel movie that comes out, anime as it pertains to Goku, and I do that stuff because I watch it. I go to a clip on YouTube to refresh my memory. Now, did he say this? He did that? Well, I'm just
Okay.
telling you, just like some people say, Star Wars fans are toxic, whatever. Superman fans, some of them, not all of them, you can't convince them. So
Okay, but
there's no need to
I
try.
don't. Right. Like I don't feel like that they're toxic as much as they are biased.
I'm not
But
saying
like
toxic. I'm just saying you can't change their minds.
right.
You
But
can,
see, those are fail people.
you are the
That's
only person. I said, how about if Goku said, conjure up Shenron with Dragon Balls and that's for the power to defeat. You're the only person that is a Superman supporter that said, that might work.
yes.
And
That's because I have a very analytical mind and I'm thinking of a million things all at once. So when that is introduced into the equation, especially if I never heard it before, I can accurately entertain how I believe that would go from a writing standpoint. Because again, the context is everything. But it has to make sense though. If someone just says something random, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? That doesn't even make sense. Like you were telling me with these Dragon Ball Z fanatics, they're just like, oh, you would win because that's what they sounded like to me. They had no information. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like half
no,
the shit you said about Goku was wrong. I saw that. Like, what are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
uh, let's go to this. I don't want to ignore the chat. Niners Zeno said, "Are the predators evil in your opinion, or just hunting?" I'm not certain. The predators that we see on the movies are different than the predators that I read about on YouTube. Because I read about them on YouTube and Wikipedia. There's several different fractions of them. There's some that does this kind of stuff, that kind of stuff. It's kind of like the Mandalorians. They got several different fractions. So I think it's just their way of life to be hunters. but they're not all on the same team.
Mhm.
And as you see on the movies, they hunt each other. So I think it's just that drive to hunt in their blood. But I guess um, if you watch the Last Predators, they go from different species to try to get the best aspects of that particular species, they integrate it into their own to make the super predator.
That movie was stupid. That last one.
Mhm.
It was Superman, but boy, that was a big ass predator. I don't know
Yeah,
who
it
played
was.
that. But that motherfucker, like he's about 9 feet tall when he come to that wall.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was definitely a tall, built person mixed with just a little bit of camera
CGI,
trickery
yeah.
to make
Mhm.
them to make that person look bigger. But like, yeah,
I want to
I
see
don't know.
what
Like,
I want to see what that machine can do. They need
yeah,
they need it looked kind of cheesy at the end,
Mhm.
but I'm thinking if they can do their camera work and CGI and all that stuff, man, that thing like it was pretty tough.
I don't think we'll ever see another Predator movie
You don't think so?
unless they
it,
reboot it.
yeah. They
They
need to
they
bring it back
constantly
to
do
like
it
what they did
now.
with the first two.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, they need to bring it back to what they did with the old school ones instead of
Mhm.
doing a bunch of cheesy, corny
But you
things
know,
that
I like the Predators. The one where they drop them on the planet, that wasn't bad.
I didn't like that one
yeah
either.
Um,
that one was
Yeah.
well,
okay, but
with what's his name?
Adrian Brody,
Lawrence
Not him. Yeah, the black Lawrence Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne. Hmm.
That's one of my favorites. It don't beat Arnold Schwarzenegger. It don't beat Danny Glover, but it's number
Hmm.
three.
Out of
That
the
one,
ones, yes.
I don't like none of the Aliens versus Predators. I don't like none of that. Maybe the one with the black girl. I can't think of her
Saying
name.
LA,
that's
saying LA
yeah,
thing.
that was the first one. That
Maybe,
one
Yeah.
was okay.
maybe
That one's okay.
the
Okay.
other ones like when they come to the like on the army base or something. I
Mhm.
didn't like
That's the
Yeah,
second one. That was trash. But like,
that was trash.
the one with Adrian Brody, like, it was
that.
okay.
I
But
like that one.
to me, that was the when I watch it, I'm like, okay, they're making missteps. I have a feeling that the next one is going to be worse than this. And look what happened, because the seeds had already
Mhm.
been planted. Once you step away from the familiar and do something different instead of expanding upon the lore that a lot of people like, you're probably gonna fuck it up. And I was right. They
I
fucked it
thought
up.
I thought it was different. I didn't like the part with the other thing. They know what the hell it was. The other thing it was hunting. He looked like some kind of decayed body or something.
Creature thing. Yeah.
They could
Mhm.
Yeah.
have keep him out of there, and they could have
Right.
kept the serial killer. He wouldn't need it.
Right.
Oh
Right.
yeah,
But
the guy from that '70s show.
Yeah, the guy that
yeah.
played Venom in Spider Man.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, that's what killed
Oh.
me about that movie too.
Oh.
Oh,
That part alone, they definitely could have left that out.
and today I watched the Amazing Spider Man 2, and I'm going to stick to my point that Andrew Garfield is the best Spider Man of all time. I want y'all to go back to the part where he and Aunt May is talking about his daddy and watch that.
Yeah. No. I remember that scene. That was a great
Man,
scene. Like
man,
like
if he don't,
Andrew, not yeah, Andrew Garfield. Like, as an actor, I think he's great. Like, in fact, that war movie that he did, like,
yeah,
that shit was
mhm.
dope. But like, see, that's the thing that those movies have. They have great acting moments, but I still don't agree that he was a great Spider-Man or the best one. Like, I'm like,
Yeah,
nah, that his interpretation, again, with that scene you brought up, that's a great scene, but he doesn't he doesn't come across as Spider-Man to me. He just seems like an asshole that wears a Spider-Man suit. That's what he
not
seems like to me.
not to me, man.
A a lot of people didn't like. I liked Amazing Spider-Man too, to be honest with you.
I didn't
I
care for
thought
Electro,
I thought
and
that movie was trash. It
now
was
the way
Yeah, I know you did. I liked it.
they had Harry look when he was a Goblin.
Hmm.
I like that better than the first Green Goblin. I like his look better than the costume.
I
Mm.
I I I don't, because, like, look, the costume, at least it looked like him. Like, that looked like some kind of mishmash of some kind of generic thing that you would see in like a sci-fi or horror movie. I'm like, you
Hmm.
should have made him just look like a goblin. He just looks like a white dude with skin problems. That shit was fucking irritating.
Yeah, he
So
did actually.
th- I'm like, is that supposed to be Green Goblin? I mean, if it did, I don't care what you're doing. Like, I guess the glider was a dead giveaway, but I'm like, that's what you do? That shit seems so fucking lazy to me. I'm
Well,
like,
his glider, I like the glider better than James Franco. He had like a surfboard glider
his
in
shit was stupid. That shit was stupid. Number three, that's why that movie is part of the reason why it's trash. But like the Amazing Spider-Man 2 to me is better than Spider-Man 3, but it suffered from a lot of the same rush. You just put a bunch of characters in the movie. You didn't know what to do with them. They weren't very accurate to any fucking comic book that I've ever read. It was just very sloppy. I just know. It was again a misstep. I'm like, this is what you do after you do the Amazing Spider-Man 1, which I thought was good, even though I'm like, this Spider-Man's a fucking asshole.
Well,
I still thought it was good, but
I hear what you're saying, but it's hard to turn down an Oscar-winning actor when they come and say, "Hey, I want to be a part of your franchise." I just think you should have done more research on Electro because that's not any Electro I read about.
it it to me it's not about that they picked the wrong person as it is that the people that wrote the script should walk in front of a bus.
I don't think the script was bad. I just think that I didn't care for Jimmy Fox as Electro.
It would have been fine if they would have developed a better script because they
I
can
like
only act off what they're doing.
right, and I kind of like Jamie Foxx as Electro. Was
The
just
one
like you said, the I need a friend thing.
I
Will you
don't
be
like
my
I don't
friend?
like his character. I think his character detracted from the script. The way
I
they wrote
agree.
the way they wrote his particular
Yeah,
character.
the way they wrote it,
All the
exactly.
other characters I don't have a problem with.
Like I had Gwen Stacy was fine, but everybody else just either seemed to be some kind of weird, warped version of the character, or the characters are just
Yeah.
completely wrong. I'm like,
And
what are you doing?
I didn't care for their take on the Rhino. That Rhino costume
Yeah,
was total.
Oh, me
and
neither.
it was at the end of the movie, sloppy, lazy. Like
Now,
they,
but I like they set it up. They see the other different things for the like the vulture outfit. I think the octopus that was cool how they did that, and I wish they would do the Sinister Six, but
I
That's what they were planning on doing before they got
I
canceled. They were going to do
I
Sinister Six.
I
I
was
don't want
only
to.
excited until I saw the rest of the movie. Like when I saw what they were doing with the characters, that dissipated. I stopped
I
caring.
don't like the way they did the Rhino, but I think it if they had a better script and maybe I see him more. I don't know because we just used to seeing that suit grafted to the man, but I
There's
don't know.
wonderful things that you can do with costumes and prosthetics. The fact that I
Yeah.
could think of this shit in 2 seconds and they come up with that kind of trash after many months of planning is irritating as shit. I'm like, you
Well,
could do better than this.
well, the Mac was
Like,
lazy because it only got like what 3 minutes of the movie
yeah, it was lazy, but even then though, you like when you
because
have
like
character appearances, they should look on point. It
yeah,
doesn't matter how brief they are, you know?
Michael Keaton's Vulture. Now he was on point.
He was.
Yeah,
I liked him as Vulture. It's just that
and
like I
Doc Ock.
enjoyed Spider-Man Homecoming, but like the stakes weren't high in that movie. You know what I'm saying? Like Vulture, at the end of the day, when you analyze his threat level, he wasn't really that much of a threat. Like nothing that the Avengers had to deal with. You could just have Spider-Man kind of deal with him
He's
and
really not
trying
that
to
much
really turn.
in the comic books, and I don't see him as one of Spider Man's most formidable foes.
No, but he's definitely beat the shit out of Spider-Man.
Yeah,
In fact, all of Spider-Man's villains have beat the shit out of Spider-Man.
when I think of Spider Man top four is Goblin and Doctor Octopus. Those are two that first two come to mind.
Don't forget about Kingpin. Like
Yeah,
Kingpin, he beat up Spider-Man and Daredevil at the same time.
and then I think of
Craven.
like Craven. Yeah, Craven.
Yeah,
See,
Craven.
Mysterio was a low tier to me, but Mysterio so far has been the best bad guy in my
I
opinion.
I don't know if I put him lower tier because like to me, like how I mentioned when I was talking to Robert, I'm like, to me his greatest feat was when he manipulated Wolverine into thinking that the whole mansion was full of enemies, but then he was actually slaughtering his friends and family only to
Yeah.
have the illusion pulled. I'm like,
See,
lower tier.
that
Nope.
ain't even real because Wolverine Sixer should have smelled something. Cause he supposed to
See,
have like hypersenses and stuff. So how in the
That's a
world
no,
good point.
how can the
no, 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 no,
illusion
no, 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 no. Mysterio took that into account. That's a good point, but he already calculated with that. He made sure to mess with his eyesight and his senses because obviously, if he goes into the situation and he smells that something is off, kind of like the one example that they showed in the first X-Men movie where he knew that wasn't Storm, that it was actually Mystique. You have to come up with a way to counteract that. in order for your plan to play out the way you want. Because that's too easy for him to go into the room and go, oh shit, that ain't them, but they look different. Then you wouldn't have no story. So he had to implement something. So his plan was pretty brilliant. Like, you got to give it to Mysterio. I'm like, if nothing else, that's why I brought that up to Robert. I'm like, we can't gloss over this. That was savage.
Lord Turner says, why does Darkseid even need armor? He is basically as powerful as four Superman and can destroy the jail if he wanted to. I don't think that's armor. I think that's just his normal clothing that he wears.
Yeah,
He
he
doesn't.
always wears that stuff.
Yeah, he always wear like that navy blue or that black looking New God suit. I guess it is.
Right, and it's kind of like with in the same way, it's kind of like with Superman with what he wears. That's not a costume; those are his clothes from Krypton. The costume is the glasses and the business suit. That's the costume.
You said Darkseid versus Thanos with Time Stone. Who wins?
Oh, they already covered that on Death Battle. You should go and watch it. Darkseid slaughters Thanos every time.
I did a survey today. Who's the baddest, Thanos or Darkseid? And Thanos won overwhelming. I couldn't believe it.
That's crazy. Me too.
And you know why I'm not surprised by that? Because people love the MCU. That is not surprising. Like like aside from like I want to say legitimate comic book fans, people that read stuff, like, because if you just go to people that watch the MCU, they're gonna pick that over everything most of the time. And when you talk about films versus films, they're gonna go watch that over something DC even before they give it a chance. Like, somebody has to tell them that character is whatever, or that movie is good, then they'll give it a chance. It's bias. So I'm not surprised by that at all. Of course they're going to pick Thanos over Darkseid, but
I didn't think, no, it's like 7% to 87%.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll pull up the poll. And a lot of that is attributed to, we haven't seen a live action Darkseid yet. I don't know what DC's waiting on, but
that's true. But okay, that's true. But let's just say, for example, let's say we did get a live action of Darkseid, and they do a good job. I guarantee you that poll is not going to change. They're still going to say Thanos,
because more people are going to watch the live action movie, Marvel or DC, versus people sitting around watching the DC animation or the Marvel animation.
This is true. That's 100% true. They're not going to. It's not even comparable. But what I'm telling you is that the MCU is trusted and people are biased towards it, and they never want to admit flaws about the MCU, and it has a bunch of flaws. They're going to pick Thanos, Iron Man, and Cap. You put them in the polls.
What you said?
They're gonna pick them.
No. Before that, you said the MCU has a bunch of flaws.
Yeah, and their movies. Absolutely, their movies are not perfect.
Did you hear that, Jason? That's the same argument I say about Superman, friends. Superman Powers has a lot of flaws. So the same point you made about Mark, I'm making about Superman.
No. But the difference being is that on one end is biased and the other end is just a fact.
It ain't biased. It's a fact.
No. That's what I'm saying. Like with the Superman thing, that is a fact. But I'm talking about the MCU discussion. It's going to be biased. It's unfair.
That is because one is, okay, let's say it's a piece of chicken. No, let's say what's the food that has to be served hot or don't taste good?
Steak. I don't like no cold ass steak.
Yeah, steak. You have to serve everybody. If you go to a restaurant, you say you want your steak fresh off the grill, or you want it to wait about 15, 20 minutes. Most people in that restaurant will say, no, I want it fresh off the grill. Still the same products, but served different ways. That's the same thing with Thanos and with Darkseid. But I bet if you warm up that steak, people are going to eat it more than they would if it's cold. That's the scenario. It ain't got nothing to do with what you said about it's flawed. It's just
no. I'm speaking on number one. I'm speaking on the fact that the movies, they do have their flaws. That's facts. I mean, we've had these discussions. But
in this particular scenario, Marvel is serving their steak warm. DC is not. That's why more people are choosing the Thanos steak versus the Darkseid steak.
Okay, but that's giving humans too much credit. First of all,
no,
you're saying that
that's the fact.
You're saying that, and I believe you. But according to others, Marvel is the steak in DC shit is like, I don't know, some ramen
Mint
noodles that you
meat.
got to warm up in a microwave.
No,
That
because
is not the same thing.
right now, if you ask people, most people, who is the strongest or the best, Aquaman or Namor? Now we know who is the strongest, but people ain't seen Namor in live action yet. They've seen Aquaman, so everybody going to say, okay, Aquaman, which is a DC product, because that's the warm state. Once they see Namor, if Namor comes to live action, then that may change or be more even.
And what I'm going to tell you is that when Submariner comes out, I guarantee you, unless the movie is bad, it has to be bad. But if it's like your generic MCU movie, they're going to say that they like that over Aquaman. Just wait for it.
So you proving my point.
Mark my words on it.
You just proved my point.
My point is that they're going to be biased towards the MCU.
Right now, if you ask a person, 100 people, who you think is stronger or better, Aquaman or Namor? Because people seen Aquaman, they're gonna say, yeah, Aquaman, blah, blah, blah. But we the geeks that read the comic books, watch the shows, we know that physically Namor is the superior of the two. Only because most of the people that eat steak has only seen the hot DC Aquaman steak. They haven't seen the hot, and it ain't got nothing to do with it. It has nothing.
If we go to the example of Bat in the Sun, like when they had the recent Black Widow versus Black Canary. Now, most of the people that vote on that show, because they do go by the votes, they're done by avid comic book fans, people that know these characters, which is why they create the matchups in the first place.
Yes.
The number of supporters for Black Widow were very high because of her popularity, right? But they're being biased because they like Marvel. They're not gonna I'm like, hold up. So you mean to tell me that Black Widow? You mean to tell me that Black Widow is gonna do something against Black Canary when as soon as she walks through the door, she should do her canary cry and splatter her shit all over the place? That doesn't make any sense. The only way that happens is because they like Marvel more. That's how that happens.
No, it's not. And I'm gonna break that down. Black Widow is a global piece of steak. You see it in China, wherever Marvel is shown, you have seen Black Widow. You haven't seen Canary, but only on the Arrowverse. It's a small.
No, I know she was in Birds of Prey, but not a lot of people watch that. But
is that okay? I give you Birds of Prey. And we really didn't see Canary crying up but one time on there.
Okay,
if you watch Arrowverse, there's only a small number of people that's watching the Arrowverse versus something that's global.
You cannot deny the fact that at this moment Marvel is trusted more than DC. They're going to pick a Marvel character over DC a lot of the time, especially if they're MCU fans.
No, they're not.
Okay, but if you ask
who is the best two DC characters in DC, they're gonna say Batman and Superman.
That's a simple question, though.
If you ask Marvel, they're probably gonna say Iron Man and Cap. Now, who do you think gonna win in that?
Well, it was obvious that Batman and Superman would slaughter the shit out of them, but that's okay. But Batman and Superman are the epitome of anything comic book. Everybody has seen something Batman or Superman related, so that's too easy. They've seen stuff.
Okay, what I'm saying is, based on what you said, then if you ask 100 people, then they're gonna say they like Iron Man better than Batman. That ain't true.
No. That's not true, because again, Batman is part of the exception. Batman and Superman are Batman and Superman. Everybody around the world knows that emblem. In fact, they have what they call Batman Day every year, where people from different countries and states celebrate those characters, dress up as them. They put the emblems on the building, they take pictures, and they share it around. Batman is different. Superman is different.
But if DC made a Justice League movie with Darkseid and they kept true to him, where he was kicking the Justice League's ass, then that poll would change. It's just because we haven't seen Darkseid kick ass in the universe.
It's okay, but at this point, it's not good enough to do. Okay, let's say you do a Justice League movie and it's dope, and you do Darkseid. People can like it. Let's say it makes $3 billion. That'd be amazing. However, it's still a blimp on the radar, which means that it's not consistent. Like with the MCU, there's a consistent, oh, I'm going to see it. oh, this is better than anything else that comes out. They're going to ignore DC stuff until they're told by somebody to give it a chance to where they're going to accept Marvel. You're talking about it has to be where there are a bunch of DC movies that people like, and then when you build up the trust, you do something like Darkseid, where everybody is going to pay attention, and then it'd be like, okay, now that I've got my feel from this, and they've managed to satisfy me consistently, they're more likely to be fair when it comes to polls and discussions.
But
It's all about their feelings.
I don't think DC needs to have a bunch of movies to get their feet. They just need
I
one.
don't. Yeah, I don't. Okay, but that's not true though, because we just had Joker that made a bunch of money, made over $1 billion without China. The opinion on DC has not changed. It's
Yeah, but
still the bias.
that wasn't part of the DC. You know what I mean?
But it's still, that's true. But it's still a DC movie. Like I don't think that they need a lot of movies, but I'm just saying, like for the sake of like changing people's minds, they
just need
that in that sense.
No, they don't. They don't need that.
Just need one.
What's making Marvel so successful is that Marvel connects their movies. There's connective tissue. DC doesn't have no rhyme or reason. They come out.
It's not just because it's connected. It's because they're good and people enjoy them, right? Good and bad is only based off of.
They're not always good because we've all agreed that Thor 3. Well, with
I know, but I'm talking about the average person. The average person. We're different. The average person, when you ask them about MCU movies, I'm not saying they're gonna like them all, but you will find that out of the majority of their movies, they're like, yeah, this shit was dope. Because they don't know they don't know about the Mandarin and all this other stuff. They just know that that's the same place where Cap and them come from. It's trusted, and they've had enjoyous experiences time and time again. To where when you get the DC movies, like not that I've hated them or anything, but the average person like, I didn't like that one. I didn't like that one, or I just only like that character. There's a lot of they don't like, right? So then you have to have this whole DC doesn't need this. I'm like, well, they don't. But if you're talking about pulling everybody in consistently to where you can get shit like the money that Aquaman made, more so closer, you get like the 900 million range, 800 million. You have that consistency. So that way these opinions can change. Because I already knew what they were going to say before they said it. That's why I'm not surprised by that poll that Denny left, because this is the norm when I'm having conversations with people, unless they're specifically knowledgeable about both sides of the equation. But if it's like an average person like my mom, oh, hell no. She's voting for Thanos. Period.
And Aquaman made a lot of money, but it also had to do with Wonder Woman, because Wonder Woman was the first one to make $1 billion out of the DCU.
Wonder Woman didn't make $1 billion. It made 800 and something million.
Close to it. You know what I mean? But at the same time, Wonder Woman was the one. If Wonder Woman flopped, Aquaman would have flopped, guaranteed.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how much I would agree with it being a guarantee. But what I will tell you is that the difference being is that with Wonder Woman, when it first came out, it wasn't making money. It was because of
word of mouth.
This person telling this person to go watch it. The same situation happened with Jumanji, which is why that Jumanji, the next level, made $1 billion because of word of mouth. With Aquaman, there was no word of mouth. It was like it came out, everybody went. That's the difference, And it was because when humans saw that trailer, especially that final trailer, it just looked so fucking good. To where now you got something like Birds of Prey. We don't need to go see that. But when Aquaman came out, it was like, yo, we got a character that's an underwater character. We haven't seen this shit before. You ain't seen nothing like Aquaman. Ain't this the dude that everybody makes fun of? Oh shit, Jason Momoa is playing this character. They had to go, because if they don't like Aquaman or DC, they probably down with Jason Momoa. That movie had a lot of things working for it within its own contained bubble.
I agree with that. It did, but just it's like it goes off of Wonder Woman. If Wonder Woman was a flop, people would have still seen it, right? I'm not saying it wouldn't have made money, but there would have been those people that have been like, well, Wonder Woman looked good, but it sucked, so I'll wait for this one to come on video.
That is a possibility. I'm just simply saying I don't know how much is guaranteed, but that could have been the case though. I can agree with that, but these DC movies, while I know that DC has better characters and storylines, you have to be in a position to where you can pull people in, pull in all the doubters and the biased people that like to dick ride Marvel and they don't give DC any credit. Those are the people that you want to get.
I
Mhm.
give I give DC credit. DC just blew their load way before
I'm
Marvel
not
did.
talking about you, Danny. Like I know you not one
No,
of
no,
these humans.
I'm making a comment. In phase one, I had to look it up to make sure I'm right. Iron Man came out first, The Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America before they made the first Avengers. There's
Mhm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movies they made before they made the first Avengers that we saw. DC didn't follow that formula. They did Man of Steel, I think Wonder Woman, and then boom, Batman v Superman, Justice League.
And Suicide
They
Squad.
went they went too
But
fast,
okay, but here's the thing though.
and neither one of those movies really connected. They never
But
really
to
connected.
be fair though, those are different scenarios. I will explain quickly. In the case of Marvel, no one knew those fucking characters that didn't read comic books. So that means most people they
I'm
didn't
not
know
doubting.
about them.
I'm not
So
doubting that.
there's that, right? So the Kevin Feige literally had to have every single movie in Phase One be successful, or they wouldn't have got to the Avengers. This idea of a cinematic universe. While I was sitting there nervous as fuck watching Thor and Cap and the rest of them, like, oh my god, what if this average human next to me doesn't like this shit or they think it's weird or something? I ain't gonna be able to get to the Avengers. And every time we got closer and closer, I was like, oh man, we might make it. But then it was like, okay, here the Avengers is here. Like everybody might watch it, but will they still care after that? Like I kept feeling uneasy until they got like past like the Winter Soldier. Then I was like, okay. But
Well,
then that kind of
Terrence,
came around again. But
you proven our point. If Marvel had it so much harder and they had a bunch of no names, but they had the right man making the right moves and they're successful, if this is a race, Marvel is starting 200 feet behind the starting line, while DC is starting the starting line because they got two, or if you want to include Wonder Woman, three of the most established superheroes in the whole comic book world.
well, they have most of them. If we're gonna get
Okay,
into
so if Marvel
technicality.
came from 200 feet behind when they shot the gun and they beating DC ass, then
Well,
that's on
but
DC.
but here's the thing though. That brings me to my second point. In terms of DC, it's not so much like okay, well, there are some things that are rushed, right? That's true, but it's not so much that it's because they did Suicide Squad too fast or because they did Just League. The only one that I will say is too fast would be Batman versus Superman. You wanna establish Batman and Superman before you do that. So that part I agree. If I would have been at Warner Brothers and they would have put that on the desk, I'd have been like, it's not time for that yet. But we'll revisit this in a couple years, but it's too early for that. But the rest of them, DC, if I were in charge right off the gate to start my shit off, I would have just did a Justice League movie. I'd have made a great ass Justice League movie because everybody knows Batman and Superman. You will get them together for the first time with Aquaman, Flash, Wonder Woman, and Martian Manhunter. Darkseid is gonna be in there. They ain't gonna kill him, but they're gonna be having multiple fights. They will fight Darkseid, and then you get to revisit that later. If you make that right, the conversation is different. The only reason why a lot of humans, not saying you guys, but a lot of the average humans are saying that they made a mistake is only based off of consistently they haven't enjoyed the movies. If you enjoy something, the conversation is different. It doesn't matter what you make.
I,
You have to make it good.
with the
You have to make
exception
it good.
of Harley Quinn, I can't say I hate the DC movies.
I know that's why I'm not talking about you or Jason, and I
But
don't
I'm
hate him
saying
either.
the average person, there's several movies that Marvel made that if I had to rank them both from one to whatever, there were several more movies that would be lower than some of the DC movies.
Yeah.
That
Mhm.
is 100% facts.
Mhm.
However,
But the reason why is
because of
because
the
they don't.
Marvel brand is behind it, though, that makes the
No,
difference.
no, it don't.
Yes,
I
it
disagree.
does. It's
Okay,
trusted. Like
okay, okay, Terrence. DC had what 5 times to get Superman right. They only got it right twice. Superman 1, Superman 2, and if you want to count,
that's
not in
not
the new.
true. Okay, look. Okay, you okay. In terms of any sort of live action show, they got them right. The cartoons, they got them right. Superman 1 and 2 with
I'm
Christopher
talking
Reeve.
about movies.
Okay,
The
in terms of
movies,
the
in terms of
yeah,
movies,
two,
if you don't count Man of Steel as new reboot, I don't know if you do, but out of Superman 1, 2,
two,
3,
three, four
4, and
returns.
Superman Returns, only 2 of those movies out of 5 are worth anything. The
Mm-hmm.
other 3 are trash.
I
If you want to look,
I don't disagree, but here's the
okay,
thing though.
now if
We
you want to
run
look at
into a
the
problem.
Batman, if you want to look at the Batmans, yeah, Batman 1,
2.
Batman 2, okay. The Dark, well, I don't know when you're gonna do the reboot.
Okay, wait.
But
Hold on. Let's focus on Superman before you jump to my favorite superhero. In terms
okay.
of Superman, 1 and 2, definitely some of the greatest comic book stuff I've ever seen. In fact, I think it's better than a lot of MCU movies, if I'm gonna be
Today,
frank.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
But 3 and 4 were trash. 4 was just even worse than 3. Superman Returns, however, even though I don't like that, there are
It's
actually
trash.
a fair number of people that like that will argue that they think that Brandon Routh is the perfect and the storyline was the greatest thing ever. I've been in those conversations.
Well, they
In
wrong.
fact, well, I mean, that's their opinion, but they will fight for that. When you get to Man of Steel, there are plenty of people that like that.
Okay,
You
I
know,
like that. But I'm saying, is that the reboot? I think that's where it stops at.
That's
Now,
the reboot.
now if we
it's the starting of the DCEU.
if we
Yeah.
are including it, then I'm with them. Yeah, it is awesome. If we,
Mm-hmm.
I thought that where it stopped at.
No. This Man of Steel is the start of the DCEU.
Okay,
Yeah.
then that's where it starts at. The
Right.
other ones, like I said, there was only 2 good movies out those first 5, and the same thing with Batman. And why I'm making that point is that DC had more opportunities to try to get it right when they're stepping up to the bat. They had more turns at the bat than the MCU. Kevin Feige was a superior coach. He said, okay, I'm going to get me a player by the name of Robert Downey Jr., and I'm going to put him in at first. I'm going to
Okay,
get me a player by the
but to
name.
be fair though, Danny, even though they had like I feel like you said, DC has more times that they had, being up to bat and stuff. But here's the thing. What I notice about DC is that when they're great, they crush everybody. They're doing shit that nobody else was doing. And they also lay the groundwork for people like Kevin Feige. Because I'm pretty sure if you talk to him and you go, hey, have you seen Smallville, sir? Like the first shared universe in live action, I guarantee you he would have something good to say about it.
I,
So,
Terrence, I'm not doubting what you're saying, but you keep harping on, and correct me if I'm wrong, that people instantly gravitate more to MCU than DCU because MCU has garnered their trust more so. I'm not
I,
saying
all I,
I
right,
don't
right.
believe that. I'm just
No,
saying that
but my conversations prove the contrary. That there's a bias. Like you have humans talking about Iron Man 3 is fucking great. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like I've
they
had those
wrong.
conversations.
They
They talking
wrong.
about Iron Man 2 is better than Iron Man 1. They like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. They think they
How old
killed
are
it
these?
with
How
Ultron.
old, how old are these people?
They're my age and sometimes older, sometimes a
Okay,
little younger, but
me and Jason are both older than you. You just
yeah.
happen to be the exception to the rule that you gravitate to older stuff.
Okay, no, but
I
not
be
it's not
Mm-hmm.
because it's old, but like you guys, Danny, you and Jason do not count because you're more knowledgeable than the average person. There are things that you look
no. I'm
for
just
and know that are wrong.
no. I just say it's an age thing. Okay, I was in a conversation and I forgot about it. I was with my wife, my sister, an older lady, and her cousin who's an older lady, and then 2 of her daughters that were 25 or younger, and they live in Virginia. So it come to my mind. I say, well, how often do y'all see Teddy Riley? The older lady, we all know who Teddy Riley is, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The leader guy,
Yeah.
and the older lady and the 40-year-old said, oh yeah, he's cool. We see him time to time in Virginia Beach, blah blah. The 2 girls like, who is that? And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. I'm almost double y'all age.
Mm-hmm.
It's an age thing.
Okay,
Now
now
once they hear the song and you put stuff together, then it might come your way. But a lot of this stuff is age stuff.
okay,
People
but
don't have a
that
clue about
I
Superman one
like
and
that I
two.
like that example. However, me being younger than both of you guys, when you guys talk to me about shit, I know a lot of the shit that you
That's
guys are talking
because you
about.
like it.
Absolutely.
I just said you are one of the exceptions to the
Mm-hmm.
rule. You
Exactly, just
like
like
and
you
dig
guys
this
are.
stuff. But
Yeah,
most people,
right.
when they make arguments about it, it's stuff that they currently see now.
Right, but here's the thing, though. In my experience, talking to these humans, they've seen DC stuff. It doesn't matter how old it is. If they haven't seen it, they know about it. And there's a
Man,
lot of times where they don't give it
Terrence,
a chance.
I done talked to some people ain't never seen Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back,
Yeah, me
So
too.
have I.
Return of
I've
Jedi,
talked to humans
and
that
they my
haven't seen
age,
Jurassic Park.
and
Yeah,
they
me
my
too.
age. So I guarantee you,
And
I'm not saying again, I'm not saying everyone. I'm just letting you know that I've had far too many conversations where they're being biased. I mean,
and
I like I said, I've talked to humans that haven't seen Jurassic Park. That's
mm,
true.
yeah.
There are plenty of humans that haven't seen stuff, but with my conversations, they will go to Marvel. It's not a crime. I love Marvel, but they're biased. The
I
whole
don't
thing
think it
with
was
these
biased.
DC movies, they're
I just
very
think that it,
biased.
I think that it's
well,
just served a better way. You might go to
well,
one hotel, this right here.
mhm.
Which, out of Hardee's, McDonald's, Burger King, which place has the better burgers? Junior.
I never
Mm,
had already,
I,
so
okay,
I don't
I'm
know.
saying Burger King all day long.
I just say
Fry.
for
If you want French fries, where you gonna gravitate towards? Burger King,
McDonald's.
McDonald's fries.
Hmm.
Okay, but see that's a see the situation that you just mentioned is a preference, right? Like to bias means that you can
Okay,
see both sides of the equation, and no matter what the other side does, it will never be as good. Those are the humans that I'm talking about.
I don't
I've
think
talked to
so.
them too many times. Motherfuckers saying shit like Dark Phoenix wasn't the worst movie they've ever seen in terms of comic book stuff. I'm like, yo, that's true. But at the same time, if you're gonna sit there and tell me that Dark Phoenix is something phenomenal, I'm like, don't ain't saying that shit because it's fucking Marvel. But like when DC makes the tiniest
I'll be
mistake,
right back.
they're like, up, see, that
Hmm.
movie is terrible, blah blah blah. Jason, you know what I'm talking about. These damn humans, they're all
No,
over this platform.
I do. And but what I'll say though is it does have a lot to do with age. Because if I showed my son Superman 2 right now, he probably wouldn't like it.
Probably, but
You know
here's the
what I
thing.
mean?
How old is your son?
21.
Okay, probably. I'm not saying that's impossible, but
Mm-hmm.
what I am saying is that regardless of the age, there is a pattern that I've noticed. The
Mm-hmm.
biasness towards Marvel because they like Marvel better. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter what DC does, they will never give them the credit that they deserve because they're not Marvel. That's what I'm talking about. They do it too much. And it's like I can tell in the conversation if they're being biased when they say shit like, "Oh, they got lucky," or that'll never happen again, or they don't have these characters. We could just go all day with different examples, but at the same time, I'm like, no, it has nothing to do with luck. It's because of this character, this story, and I just break it all down. But when it comes to Marvel, when I point out a flaw that they can't justify, they like to make what we call excuses. Jason, like they make excuses as to why they did something. They're like, oh, it'll be fine. Oh
Uh,
yeah, so
I
the
got
Iron Man 3, huh? Oh, make excuses. Oh, the Avengers Age of Ultron is better than the first Avengers. Oh, yeah, they had the robot and he was like the perfect villain and stuff. I'm like, really? You believe that? That's how you feel?
I ain't
Well,
said it's
yeah,
better than the first Avengers, but I'm not. I don't hate it.
yeah, I don't hate it either.
Mm-mm.
I
I,
like the
I,
movie, but for me personally, I tend to give it go by two scores. You get a score as a movie, and then I critique it as a comic book property, which more often than not, as comic book stuff, this shit ain't right. It's
Mm-hmm.
not right.
yeah,
But
yeah, Pimp.
I still got to be fair though.
I got you. Let's get to the chat. I don't want to ignore these people. I don't want to be pissed off. Lord Trainer said, "What would happen if Darkseid didn't have any way to find out the Justice League plans? Would Justice League still lose?" We covered that earlier, Lord Tyrannus, and he still would beat their ass.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, um,
Yeah, he would.
Allstater said, "What is this? The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was an underrated movie." I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Underrated? Uh, how? Okay, underrated implies that you have
People
something
didn't
that's
like it.
truly good. No, 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 no. Underrated implies that you have something truly good that a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people haven't seen or they're refusing to recognize. A good example of that would be The Crow with Brandon Lee. That movie has people that like it, but not a lot of people have seen it. And the ones that have seen it, they're like, it ain't that good and this and that. That's an underrated movie. That's underrated. Like The Amazing Spider-Man 2, a lot of people saw that movie and a lot of people saw it after that. There's nothing underrated about it.
I think he mainly agreeing that. I guess in his discussions or in his opinion, a lot of people think that it's crap. I don't think that it's
Mhm.
crap.
No,
Yeah,
that's fine. I mean, you can like it, but I think that the movie is a bad Spider-Man movie. I mean, we just went over the flaws in the movie. I cannot say it's a good movie. I can say that maybe it's entertaining on certain scenes, but it's not a good movie at
It's
all.
better than Spider-Man 1 and 2 to me.
Oh hell
Well,
no, with
well
Tobey
maybe
Maguire?
not. Maybe not 2, but definitely 1.
Oh,
with
no.
Toby.
Come on, Danny. Like, what
I
the
just, I
hell?
just, I just don't like Tobey Maguire. When
Okay,
you look at
okay.
the
There you
scenes,
there
the
you
better,
go.
the better Spider-Man. When you look at the scenes, the better Spider-Man is Andrew Garfield. He is
Okay,
the
see, but there you go though. That you fall into the category that I was talking about. You like Andrew Garfield, there's going to be a biasness that's there. Like
no.
it prevents you from seeing the good that's in Spider-Man 1 and 2 with
I'm not
Tobey
saying that.
Maguire.
I'm not saying that it was bad. I'm saying that I like it better. Now, the better villain, I would agree, is the Goblin versus
Mhm. Mhm.
uh, Electro, hands down. But as far as it portrays his Spider-Man, the way he uses his powers, his smartassness, I prefer.
That's all the movie has? Is
No, I'm
that?
just saying. I'm just showing you certain quotes. And the love scene between him and Gwen Stacy, I thought the Gwen Stacy love scene and the connection was much better than Mary Jane. The girl that played Mary
It
Jane, she was not sexy enough. They did not have enough of the chemistry. Like they was just like, okay, let's paint by numbers.
Okay, so if you want to mention the chemistry between Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy was better executed in the first Amazing Spider-Man movie. It was better done there.
And the
Because
second one
in the
wasn't
second
bad
one,
either.
the second one only did a little bit more. It didn't like
Yeah,
create the sphere
because
that we got.
because the script dictated that they were splitting up. She was going this way to go cross seas to England, whatever, and
Hmm. Hmm.
he was kind of adhering to her father's wishes and saying, "Look, if she's in your life, she's going to constantly be in danger." So he was battling with all that. In the first one, they were falling in love, and then he kind of said, "Fuck it," kept Stacy and still take
If
a chance.
but
Now,
see, that's the nature. That's why I'm saying it's sloppy. What else does the movie have though? It has nothing else.
And I don't think the Amazing Spider-Mans, both of them, I don't think they're either of them are better than the Raimi Spider-Mans. I just
Hell
don't.
no, no,
I
hell no.
love the first Spider-Man, and I love the second one too with Doc Ock. But
it's okay for y'all two to be wrong and I'm right. I'm cool with that.
No, 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 no. No, it ain't no wrong when it comes to opinion. But I'm just saying, like, what did it give us aside from what we already
It
saw
gave me
done
a
better?
it gave me a lot. I think Andrew Garfield is the superior Spider-Man. That's
But
just
that's
my
what you said.
opinion.
he may be,
I'm
but
asking you, what else has it given you?
It gave me a lot of enjoyment. I enjoyed the hell out of the movie. Now, if
No,
it
but what? Okay, give me two things
what the hell is
that
the
are
movie gonna
reasonable
give me?
that has nothing to do with Gwen Stacy and Spider Man. What else did the movie
It
give you?
gave me enjoyment. I felt when I took my $10.50 out of my pocket, I didn't want it back. Okay,
But why? Where did the enjoyment come from? What
I like
exactly did
I
that?
like the action. I like everything in it. I like
okay.
I
But
like the
just
act- I like the part where they were trying to experiment with it. Electro and he broke out. I told you earlier I like the way the new Goblin look. I like that look better than the suit.
Oh
There were
man,
certain
those
aspects. There were certain aspects of. I like the at the end when that man came in, whoever the hell he is. We don't know who the hell he is, and he was like, "Get stuff ready."
another trash interpretation of something that they messed up.
Okay, I like that stuff, and I like the possibility that okay, he's gonna put together a Sinister Six, and it might be. Now, I didn't care for that Rhino at the end, but like I said earlier, if I see more of Rhino and they clean it up, make it more CGI friendly, it might be something that I can. Okay, I see why they did that.
First impressions are important. You don't get to do a first impression twice. Like a
Okay.
lot of people didn't like Amazing Spider-Man 2. That's why we don't have a third one. On top of Andrew Garfield, like something happened with Sony. Like he kind of got screwed over, which is why they didn't do a third one. But if you
mhm.
didn't have the whole Andrew Garfield Sony debacle, you still have the poor response to the Amazing Spider-Man 2 from not only the fans but the average person, like my
and
mom
you
who
may
knows nothing.
and you may like Andrew Garfield as the better Spider-Man, but it doesn't mean those movies are better, right?
Exactly.
He may
You
be a
have to
better
be.
Spider-Man,
Now,
but it doesn't mean those
Tara
movies.
just said you can't be wrong with just your opinion. So
No, I know, I know.
why y'all fight me about my opinion? Because it ain't gonna
Danny,
change.
we are not fighting you. You
At
my
all.
boy. We just having a good
Y'all,
ass discussion.
y'all wasting y'all breath. If y'all think I'm gonna ever say that Tobey Maguire or Tom Holland is better than Andrew Garfield,
Danny, what did
you're
I say earlier
wasting
about how I'm
your
not trying to change
breath.
your opinion?
I'm just
Didn't I
letting you
say?
know. I'm letting you know
I
off the
but
muscle. I'm
but
letting you
even without you letting me know, I've already spoke for that for
know.
myself
Okay.
because
Well,
I'm not trying to change you. I just
I got
like having a good
I gotta
discussion.
hear it. I gotta speak it into existence.
Fair enough, but I trust you though because I've interacted with you enough to know. Okay, this is how you feel. But Terrence has to also say how he feels, and then also throw in
Oh,
some facts and
I
stuff
don't.
too.
Hey, I'm cool with how y'all feel. I'm just saying.
And if I could go back to the predator thing because I didn't get to say in terms of the predators being evil and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I don't know what it is with humans where they have to automatically go, this is good, this is evil. It probably has to do with religious based shit, but like when it comes to certain things, they're not so much evil or good as it is that's their nature.
Yep.
Alligators, crocodiles, lions, they're not evil. That's just what they do. They hunt, they kill to eat and stuff.
In a most aggressive manner.
And if you look at number two, they do it for trophies, right? Because at the end they have all the heads in the ship, so it's
Yeah.
basically they're hunting. It's not that they're bad
They,
or it's what they do.
well,
Right. And also,
it's bad that they hunt us.
nah, fuck that. Humans are trash. But like,
What?
speaking of humans, like
So you
humans,
want your column ripped out your back?
first of all, the predator is not going to attack me because I'm a person that has honor and discipline. They only attack you when you are a threat, meaning that you pull out a weapon and you try to attack them.
No,
I,
no, no,
oh,
no.
okay. You want to dispute that, but
Yeah,
you
yeah, I'm
both
gonna
saw
say that.
you
Did
both
you see
saw.
predators? Did you see predators? They brought them guys out of a hostile environment. They wasn't fucking with them. They dropped all them people out of a hostile
They
environment.
had weapons. Did you see Predator 2?
They
I'll
wasn't
give
after,
you.
they wasn't after them.
Okay, but no, but it doesn't matter. They had weapons, and what did they try to do when they see the predators? They try to attack. That's why they died. In the case of Predator 2, which both of you saw, do you
Mm-hmm.
remember the scene where the kid was in the cemetery and he
Mm-hmm.
had a toy gun, and then the
Mm-hmm.
predator scanned it, and then it turned off the scanner, and then the kid was like, "You want some candy?" That's a
Mm-hmm.
scene to show that they do not attack you if they think you are defenseless. They also
And
have
the
honor.
and the pregnant woman when she was
And the
pregnant, it
pregnant
grabbed her.
woman when she was on it, when she was in the subway and shit,
Mm-hmm.
like he saw that she was pregnant, he did nothing to her. Another example would be at the beginning of the movie when that rich guy was getting his dick wet by a really attractive Hispanic woman. She would just, the predator came up in there. He was like, "Yeah, I'm about to get me some spinal cords tonight." And then he saw her. He was like, "Damn, she looked good, but she's not a threat." He left her alone. Nothing
Mm-hmm.
happened
Mm-hmm.
because she cowered in a corner. A predator can see that you're cowering in a corner, which means you're scared. You're not trying to attack it, so it's
Mm-hmm.
no threat. And then what happened in AVP when that older guy, when he scanned his body and saw that he was going to die of cancer, he did nothing to him. The only reason that he ended up killing him is because after he let that dumbass human go, it decided to use a flamethrower on the predator, and that's when he killed him because he attacked him.
And even in the first one, the girl that they have goes to grab a gun, and Arnold slaps it from her hand so that the predator wouldn't attack her. Right? So,
Exactly.
Well, in the
Dutch figured that shit up. Dutch figured that out. Oh, what happened at the
last,
end of the movie?
in the
What
last,
happened? Didn't the Predator fight him in hand-to-hand combat at the end of the movie? Honor. That's
mhm.
another example.
I could have sworn in the last predator that it came to kill that little boy because it was autistic and needed something. The little boy was trying to kill him. It
That's
wasn't no
why
threat.
that movie is stupid because it makes no sense. I'm like, the best thing that should have happened if these people ever seen Predator and dude Shane Black that directed it, if I'm not mistaken, he was in the first Predator movie. He's one of the soldiers that got a shit wrecked. So he should know better than that. I just kind of was irritating. But
Mhm.
the kid, a kid using something to summon a predator for them to come to said planet, once the predators get there, the only thing that they should be doing is just maybe taking the device or grabbing the boy and in hopes that he's going to reveal where it is or something, but they shouldn't be showing up trying to kill the boy unless the boy
Mhm.
was responsible. Like, say if he like killed like 5 predators, of course they're gonna come and kill his ass. But that doesn't make
Mhm.
sense for them just to come and kill a child. They don't do that. The trophies that they had in their little glass case, that was an adult skull from a male. That wasn't a child skull.
Mhm. Mhm.
They don't do that. You know, that's why I'm saying they're not evil. They have honor. You know how many humans I've met that can't even spell honor? They have no fucking honor. They're just savages. They got all these emotions and stupid shit that they do and say. I'm like, man, you wanna come at the predators wrong. Maybe you can learn something from them.
Okay. Darth Reed said, "What are y'all thoughts about the hand-shaped web?" I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
If he means the webs that when they come out of Toby Maguire, because they come out of his hands, right?
I thought that
Right,
was
right.
black.
Huh?
I thought that
Yeah,
was.
I didn't like it either. I didn't like that either.
Well, for me, when I saw that, it kind of threw me off. I was like, oh, I was expecting him to make it with the webs and stuff, but
Hmm.
I did find it intriguing in the way that they used it. So I personally wouldn't have done it like that. And because I wouldn't have done it like that, like for me, I'm not like a purist. It doesn't have to be exact. Like you can make changes if you make them work. The way that they made him use his organic webs, I was like, I'm not mad at that. You made that work. And the Spider-Man character was doing Spider-Man things, and you had Mary Jane there and all that stuff. So I was like, okay, there are worse things that came before this in terms of Spider-Man related, where they just failed the character in every way. So that didn't trip me out, but I did talk to some of my friends where they're like, I didn't like that part, but they love
Hmm.
those movies. That was this their only little nitpick. I'm like, yeah, we could do worse than hey, I wish he would have made the cartridges. I'm like, yeah, I wish he would have made it too, but I'm not mad at that because look at what else we got. Look at all the great shit we got.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I didn't really hate. I mean, I didn't like it. I didn't hate it because sometimes there's in the comics where he's fighting a villain and he runs out of
Hmm.
web and has to do something else. So I was like,
Correct.
well, he can't do that in these movies if it's always coming out of him, and that was the only issue that I had.
Correct. That is a perfect point. 100% well said. That was a thing that I was thinking about. But again, I was like, all right, Danny
Hmm.
Danny seems to sound like he hated it. I understand. You know me,
I didn't
Danny.
totally hate it. I just like.
Right, right. I mean,
Only time I see that was in the Spider-Man 2099,
yeah, yeah.
which I wish they would do that. God, I want to see that. God, that would be awesome.
They when they do an Into the Spider Verse live action, there's a window where you can do that.
Uh,
Or in fact, if they do Madam Web, because she travels to different timelines and dimensions and interacts with all the spider people anyway, you could
yeah,
do that there as well.
yeah.
She
I
could
want
she should actually be the setup for Into the Spider Verse. It should be
to. Yeah,
Madam Web, and then you do that after.
yeah. I want to see.
Hmm.
I want to see that. Let's go through these. I want to get all these things before we get off of here. Um, the handshake. Whoa. The handshake wheel was weird. That's not how physics work. Okay, cool. Um, this question
Oh,
is for Terrence. Would you rather fight an alien or a predator?
I would rather fight a predator because, like, with now, I should make this clear that because I am who I am, I'm not gonna say like, oh, I can beat everything. I know there are stupid humans like that. No, shit can wreck me. It can wreck me. However, because of my training, I'm not going to run. I would naturally try to defend myself, and if I lose, I lose. To me, there's more dishonor in running away than fighting and losing. That's how I was trained. Okay, so um, for me, a predator, because it has honor and because I would naturally show up with no weapons, it would want to fight me. I think that would be an interesting thing for me training wise. Like, man, I need to up my strength, knowing that a predator is always going to be stronger than me no matter what I do. But it would spark good things with the way I conduct my life. To where an alien, I feel like there ain't no honor. It's probably going to throw some shit at me, spit acid in my face. I don't want to really deal with that. I'd rather fight a predator.
I know you said there's no honor in running, but if a predator and aliens coming at me, I'm fucking running, bro.
Yeah. He
Okay,
who
okay,
he
I'm
he
running.
he who fights
okay,
and runs away lives to fight another day,
okay,
boy.
okay, okay. Because you said that, Jason. Now I need to clarify. To me, there's a difference between having strategic falling back versus running. I will tell you the difference. There is a fine line. If
Mhm.
I'm fighting and say I have two men with me, we're fighting, we're taking on this people, that people, and it gets to the point to where now there are 2,000 men in front of us that we have to fight. I'd be like, well, if we go head to head with these 2,000 people, because of the numbers, no matter if we even do the phalanx, like how the Spartans used to do,
Hmm.
there's simply not enough of us to cover all sides, and we're guaranteed to be killed and defeated, right? So
Hmm.
I would say let's fall back and we can figure out a way to take out all these motherfuckers one by one. That's fine. But what I don't like is if we have a chance of victory, but Bobby Totem gets scared and runs away like a bitch, where if he would have stayed, it would have upped our chances of being able to defeat said opponent or opponents. That's the coward shit I don't like. Where are you going? Where are you going? We need you. You don't care that I'm gonna die because you decided to run away like a bitch? Like, what are you doing?
You gotta take a shit.
Oh well, in that case, I'll just end up killing that person. I'll kill him because then he's betrayed me. I'm like, we went out on here with the oath and shit that we were gonna fight to the death, and this bitch ass motherfucker's running away because he got scared because I don't know it has sharp teeth. Boo hoo.
All right. Darth Reed said, people from my generation say Marvel is better than Star Wars and that Star Wars sucks, but I have never seen Star Wars. I'm 15, by the way. But all I
Well,
can tell you is sit down and watch it. It comes on TV more than enough now. I think last week they had a Star Wars marathon.
oh,
Uh,
absolutely. Danny
I
is right.
I believe the prequels are better. That's just my opinion.
Wait,
But
wait,
if you,
better than
better than
the
the
current
original.
trilogy? Oh,
The
better
current,
than the original?
yes.
Really?
What?
Like what? I
The
have
re-
never heard that. I
This is
have
and
Danny. You
this
hold
is
on.
what
Let
I'm
me
going
put your
to
name on this chalkboard.
put it on there. And
First time.
I'm gonna tell you why.
Hold
The
on,
main reason
Danny.
why I watched Star Wars is because the lightsaber scenes blow my mind.
Hmm.
The speed that they were doing the lightsaber scenes in the first three, they were
Oh, okay.
okay for that time. And I've seen it, I've digested. I'm not saying the story is better. I'm not saying the story is better. So
Hmm.
don't lock me into that. I'm saying I'm going there for the money shot. The money shots are the lightsaber scenes. I get way more excited when I see the lightsaber battles in the prequels versus seeing it in the original
Oh,
three.
oh,
That's
okay. I, I
respectable.
like I
That
like how you said that,
Hmm.
Danny. Because then,
that is what get me like, oh yeah, I'm ready to see this. When I
Yeah.
first seen Darth Maul ignited that double edged lightsaber,
Mhm.
that had me sold.
Yeah. Yeah.
okay, but
So
here, okay,
I'm not, but let me clear this up. I'm not saying the stories are better. I'm just saying
Hmm.
if you are an action driven fan of Star Wars, the prequels are a better fit if you want the action. If you want the storyline and learn the history behind it and learn the players, then watch the first three. That is what
okay, I like how you said that, Danny, because I'm gonna tackle that in two ways. The first way is because you said money shot. So for me, I think it's better to get the whole like her getting bent over in different positions on different surface areas, and then you get the money shot. That's the
okay.
original trilogy, right? The
Okay.
money shot that you said is like if I cut to the cut scene or the money shot that's only 5 seconds long, and then that wonderful liquid covers her
No, no, no,
face.
no, 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 no.
That's skipping to the end.
They're two different things. They were two different things. You talking about a porno? I'm talking about a damn whole trilogy.
Exactly,
I'm talking.
exactly. I'm
I'm
like,
talking
you got
about.
to get the
I'm,
whole
I'm talking
experience.
about 6 movies.
I understand, but I'm talking about the whole experience. I don't want to just get the money shot. I want the whole thing.
Okay, well, if you want to watch it for real and learn in the correct way, you're gonna watch the prequels first because they come before the original three.
I'm
So
not
you're
gonna
gonna
lie.
get
Sometimes those money shots are pretty nice by themselves, but that
Hmm.
ain't the point. I'd rather have the whole experience. You know.
okay. But
For
what I'm
me,
saying, if you get a whole experience, you're gonna have. If you want to know the chronological order in the correct order, you're gonna have to watch the prequels first.
hmm
Right, right. Well,
and
yeah,
from
that's fair. But here's what I did. Like I've done this maybe 4 times. I've introduced humans to Star Wars because they only seen like maybe one or two. What I do
hmm
is I show them the original trilogy, and then we do
hmm
everything else. The reason why I do that is because I want them to understand what quality is and not yay moments, right? Like to me, the prequels with Darth Maul, that's a bunch of yay, look at the flip in the roundhouse. But with the original trilogy, you have substance. And for me, I can do like if I'm gonna watch the prequels, I'm not gonna watch the whole movie. I'm gonna type in the little fight scene between Darth Maul and you got
I'm gonna I'm gonna
the
watch
rest of
the
the
whole
characters.
movie.
No, see, I don't want to do that. When you put on the original trilogy, I can sit there and watch the whole
It's,
movie because
it's
there's
gonna mess
substance.
you up because the technology and stuff was better now, and it is aimed towards the average moviegoer now.
Okay, but here's the thing though.
You might lose somebody by seeing that stuff in
Mm-hmm.
the
That
1970s,
that
but and this is
that
slow enough.
Absolutely true.
nope. That has not happened in my experience yet.
Well,
Every
I
person that I have shown Star Wars, they fucking love that shit. The first
I
one in
haven't.
Empire,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I haven't lost anybody, but I've shown them the prequels, and they like the prequels better.
I'm
Like
And
telling you,
whoever
and that
Star
will
Wars
be
before.
and that's not surprising either because of the fighting. Like people like
Mhm.
Flash with, and I
it's
don't
not
think it's a
necessarily
character they
flash.
do, but
It's not necessarily flash. It was speed. If now we both love Kenobi and we both love Darth Vader, all three of us. Now that fight scene between Darth Vader and Ben Kenobi, that was like some shit I do.
Yeah,
That's slow,
yeah, I
as
get
slow
it.
as there
okay,
was. There
but
was,
see that
there was a
you're
fan.
looking at it the wrong way
But
because
hold
you've
on,
seen those
but,
prequel
yeah,
fights.
but hold on. There was a fan made movie of that
Hmm.
same exact scene that was
Hmm.
50 times better.
I
Okay,
agree.
okay, but that's not fair though because if you look at a fan made thing, they're going to amp up the fighting for the sake of excitement. But for me, when I saw that as a child, the reason why I enjoyed the hell out of that scene was because of the build up before you get to that scene. As to where in the prequels, because these characters were doing and saying things that were out of character, what Jedi's would do and say anyway, they were just acting like a bunch of normies. I was waiting for them to get to the action because the dialogue was fucking atrocious.
But
So of
Terrence,
course I was waiting for it.
you said in past streams that you saw a movie when you were a child, you was like, "Oh, okay." But then when you grew up, you got a different and better understanding of that.
But
Okay,
it doesn't change my opinion of it though. If the movie was bad, it's still bad. If it was
okay.
good, it was still good.
I
So
can't.
I'll tell you this, like when I okay, like in terms of Bride of Frankenstein, right? That's a movie that doesn't have any action in it, but it's the story that got me. I am a sucker for a good ass story. In fact,
Hmm.
I don't like romance movies, but I tell you what, some of them I'd be like, damn, like Crazy Rich Asians or something like that. I'd be like, this shit is good as fuck. Like you pulled me in, and I don't even really like this kind of stuff. It's because of the story. I love fight scenes all day. Danny, you know that. Jason, you know that.
Hmm.
The Raid, Bruce Lee, I don't give a shit. If it's badass and you got the fighters and stuff, that will capture my attention. I'm cheering and all that shit, and that's awesome. But I also want a good story to couple with that, which would make the experience better for me personally.
I get you. And let's be real. That lightsaber battle in Empire Strikes Back wasn't shit.
Thank
You know
you.
what I mean? Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
In Empire
that
Strikes
was
Back wasn't shit.
I
What's
love
the
the
lightsaber battle?
Empire Strikes Back. Whew.
Shoot, I'll be
Me
just like
too.
this. If they come on now and I see the
The
See,
lightsaber battle? No, I loved it. In Empire Strikes
yeah,
Back?
that I love that shit. Like Empire
Me
Strikes
too.
Back is my favorite Star Wars movie.
Me
Period,
too.
bar none.
Me too. And
y'all
Revenge of the
know,
Sith is my
y'all know
second.
good, y'all know good and well, Darth Vader and Luke lightsaber don't hold a candle to Anakin and Obi-Wan.
I'm
Okay,
not
here's the
saying
here.
it
Okay,
does,
let me. Oh,
but
so
it's
you want to bring
good
up
though.
Anakin and Obi Wan? Like, okay,
Yeah,
first of all, that fight in Revenge of the Sith was only good until it was too fucking long. They were fighting way too long. I'm like, man, I only cared about it for 1 minute, and it just
Once
didn't
they
jump.
start
And then
climbing
I
on
think the music was better than the scene itself.
but
once they start
that
climbing up
that
on that, that's
that
when it
was
got weak.
awesome. The doggone the one between um Palpatine and Yoda was awesome.
That shit was
Yeah.
stupid.
The one
The
between
way that fight ended, that no, fuck that fight.
the
No,
one
Oh
hell
yeah.
no.
I
between
like it.
Dooku and Yoda was awesome.
Yes.
All them fight scenes, man, and,
I
and you
agree.
And you're not wrong. I enjoyed the Yoda thing too, even though I thought it was badly written because you shouldn't have turned Yoda into a bitch. I can't stand that. But like I noticed that you keep mentioning the fights, which that's the only reason
okay.
as to why I care about the prequels.
What
The
did I?
only reason.
Okay, what? First of all, the prequels tell you how all this shit started. You were speculating where did the Emperor come from, what happened. The prequels broke it down and told you exactly what he was doing, what was his.
Mm-hmm.
You saw three of his apprentices, ranging from um Maul, Dooku,
Mm-hmm.
Anakin. You saw the whole thing grow and blossom. If you saw that
It didn't
four or five,
blossom. It did not blossom. It grew,
okay,
but it didn't
I was
blossom.
I was curious how the hell he became Darth Vader. I saw it from the comic
Mhm.
books and stuff, but actually see it and see what happened and how he did everything and what was the backstory of Leia and Luke. I didn't know all that based on watching the first.
I still don't know it because I don't believe that was Anakin. I'm like, this dude's a bitch. He had two moments that were dope. One of which is when he killed all those people after his mom died in the Order 66. Everything else he did, I'm like, this dude is a whiny bitch that cannot control his feelings. And you're trying to convince me that he turns into that? Oh no, you can miss me with that. That's just part of the
I,
problem.
I don't shit on the prequels. I like the prequels, so
I
you
no,
know what I
I
mean.
I'm gonna call out all the flaws and like I said, the one thing that the prequels got are the fights. If you take that away, it has no story. And if you remember how Lucas explained the Star Wars, like his whole thing where how he made them, it was all about character and story. Everything else was secondary. In the
Mhm.
prequels, the fighting is first and everything is secondary, which is why they put so much emphasis on the trailers. Oh, look at the color of this lightsaber. Look at him do a backflip. I'm like, what's the fucking story, George? What are you
I, I,
doing?
dis- I disagree. I think the story was the main point of it, and that's the reason why people didn't like it because it had a story that people weren't feeling. Right? It was about the Trade
It's trash.
Federation,
It's
and
trash.
a lot of people didn't like his story, but he
I'm
did
like,
be
this
paid
shit
for the
is
story for
trash.
it,
I'm
bro.
like, this motherfucker was like metachlorians. I swear to God, like that has to be one of the most
I didn't have
irritating
an issue
moments in
with
movie history.
that. I didn't have an
Oh
issue
my
with that. I
God.
didn't
I'm like,
have an issue with
George,
that.
George, I was about to have you sign my shirt, and now I'm pausing. You know, you can still sign it because the original trilogy. But I'm like,
Hmm.
come on, George, like, what you doing,
Everybody
man?
hated. Everybody hated Jar Jar. I didn't hate
Jar
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 Jar.
was a piece of shit. That is
I
like
didn't
the
hate him,
worst
bro.
Star Wars character ever. Like
I didn't
Misa,
hate
Misa.
him.
I'm like, man, shut up, Jar Jar.
Right. But you got to understand why he was there. He was there for the kids. You know what I
Misa
mean?
Terrace is not a fans.
I'd be like,
I didn't
Misa,
hate
you need
Jar
to
Jar.
be dead as fuck, Misa. Just get out the movie. Like, stop
You
messing
know.
shit up.
You know what I hated more than Jar Jar was in Attack of the Clones when they were doing that shit with 3PO and he was going through the droid factory. I hated that part way more than I hated anything Jar Jar did.
Okay, that well, I actually forgot about that part too. You mentioned it. Like that was kind of for me that was whatever because it
Like when
was
they put his
brief.
head on the droid body and
And the
stuff.
Like,
droid, and he's making all those stupid little jokes
but
and
see, but
shit.
that's the thing though because I forgot about it because it was so brief as to where Jar Jar's terribly written ass was in the whole episode one. I'm like, can he please die? Please kill him. I don't normally be like team kill a character per se, but Jar Jar, his floppy ass ears and Misa, I'm like, Qui Gon, you are already not acting like a Jedi. I will forgive you if you just and just cut off his head real quick. Trust me.
All right, let's keep going. Villains are not the only problem in Amazing Spider-Man 2. I agree, 1000%. Um, Next one said Darth Reese. People complain that there isn't enough content on Disney Plus, so I recommend Mandalorian. They liked the trailer, but since it was in the Star Wars universe, they didn't watch the show. Huh?
What?
People complain that there isn't enough content on Disney Plus, so I recommended Mandalorian. They liked the trailer, but since it was in Star Wars universe, they didn't watch the show. Well, that's
Um,
crazy.
Yeah, that's great.
That's Star Wars haters.
Hmm.
Well,
Darth
I,
Reese. Like, how does that make any sense? Like, if
I
you're
hear what he's
saying
saying.
that,
He's saying that some people that he know complain to him that there isn't enough content on Disney Plus. So he told those people, watch Mandalorian. They watched it like the trailer, but since it was in the Star Wars universe, they didn't watch the show.
but that's what I'm saying. Like, this is what I'm getting at. If someone tells you, okay, oh, I ain't gonna get Disney Plus because there ain't a lot of content, and then you say, well, people are complaining because there isn't a lot of content, and you give them only one recommendation, where do you think that comes from? If I'm trying to like when I tell people that they would benefit from having the DC streaming service if they're a DC fan specifically, you have a lot of reasons to be on there. You could read thousands of comic books, you can watch old school shows, and you have a bunch of original content that's still
Well,
going.
okay, well, I those people are, in my opinion, I ain't gonna say full of shit, but It says Disney Plus. So Disney Plus has a bunch of Disney material. So it don't say Star Wars Plus or Marvel Plus or it says Disney Plus. So when you go on there, and if you're knowing first and foremost, the material that I see on here is going to be Disney. Is it brand new material? No, but there's a lot of stuff on there. I've seen so many old cartoons, so many old shows, old movies, live action. And so if you are a Disney fan, then you can't complain about the content that's on there. Now,
That
if you're
that's fair, but I think probably what these humans are getting at, I could be wrong, but probably what they're getting at is there's not enough new content, and I
New
think that
content,
that's
yeah.
I'm just
true.
saying, well,
Mhm.
that if Disney should do some kind of poll and say, look, what do our fans want? Or what are we going to take to get Disney Plus up and running and be really, really successful? They should have planned to have back to back new shows, but
Mhm.
we gotta remember this
Hmm.
current crisis we're in is preventing some of that. So
Yeah.
until they can get that ironed out, and this might be a plus for the fans because once it is ironed out, maybe they got time now. 'Cause a lot of stuff they could have done from home and make this show, that show, whatever, or put the finishing touches on this project or that project. We don't
Not
know.
for them live action shows. They
Not
gonna need
live
to do
actions,
that.
but I'm glad you brought that up. I watch anything always and everything always today, and there are two leaked plot. Um, I wrote it down. The
They
first
still should
two,
have planned ahead.
the first two episodes of WandaVision has already been leaked,
Oh, really?
and it read it. She's like in where the hell is she gonna
Oh
be at?
no, is this gonna be like spoilers to where there's a high
Yeah,
probability that it
yeah,
could
it's
be?
spoilers. Yeah, I
Oh
won't
come
I
on,
won't say it,
don't do
but if you watch everything always, he goes into great detail, and the two plots that he read on the first two episodes sound very believable. So
I'll watch it.
now
watch it.
what's the percentage wise the likelihood that it plays out like he says? Because a lot of these people that have sources,
Well,
they're
I can tell
wrong a
you
lot
this:
too.
everything always. I don't know who this guy. I think his name is Michael Roman or something like that. This guy is almost always on everything that he says. I sit and watch and follow, and most of the time it be right on. If it ain't right on spot, it's in the daggone neighborhood of it, buddy. So I don't
Okay,
know.
okay.
I think
Thank you
he
for
has.
telling me that. I ain't gonna
I
watch
think
that.
I think he has a source in Marvel and DC,
Mhm.
probably in Star Wars too, because he reports stuff, and every single stream he uploads, he always give away two PlayStation Pros. So somebody is funding him and giving him money to do this. 'Cause I've been following him
I
for
think
months.
you told me about him one time
Yeah,
when we talked,
yeah.
but that's the reason why I don't go on those channels is because I
His,
don't want to hear those damn spoilers.
his
Fuck that.
channel, his channel is good. I follow him.
I'm gonna find it.
This
It don't,
motherfucker,
it
like if you
don't,
got humans doing videos like, oh, guess what's gonna happen in the Hulk movie? Wolverine's gonna show up and they're gonna fight in the middle of the movie. I don't want to hear that shit. Just
I don't
you
care.
can
I could
yeah
I
no
could
fuck
hear
that.
something, but it ain't like it ain't just like you can imagine having sex, but it ain't like
Mhm.
actually having sex.
That is not the
Yeah.
same thing. Like
It's the same damn
no
thing.
no 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 no
Yeah, it
no no
is.
no 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 no
Yes,
no
it
no
is.
no
Yes, it
because
is.
no because with that you have a bunch of humans that have experienced that. In terms of Cap Catch and Mjolnir, there is no experience until you see that shit. So if that's why I stayed away from the internet when before Endgame. I purchased my ticket over a month beforehand. I didn't have shit spoiled because I stayed off of everybody's shit because they like to ruin shit all the time.
Well, I
I
didn't
don't
know
need you to.
anything. I didn't know anything about Cap Catching Mjolnir, and I
Mm-hmm.
watch everything. I didn't know anything about him saying.
I did.
I didn't even think about him saying Avengers Assemble. It didn't even
I
cross
did.
my mind. The big thing. I didn't know none of that stuff. I was like a
Well,
virgin in there when it come to that, and I looked at every
Avengers
read.
Assemble wasn't to me wasn't him saying that is special because they did that in the first Avengers movie.
He
Avengers
Yeah,
said,
but he
Assemble.
didn't finish it. He didn't finish it though.
yeah, he
They
didn't
cut
say
it
it.
I
off.
know, but it was still there. It's
How
like because
pride
I
that he
heard
was
it. I'm
saying
like,
it. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, to actually hear it. People like lost their mind when he said Avengers or something. And I screamed.
and
It
he
was
said it in the
okay.
most quiet moment. He should have been louder than that. That was kind of
When he
irritating.
caught Moonir, that to me was the cat. That was the money shot for me. I was like,
To me, the money
yes.
shot was all those characters, not him catching
I
Mjolnir.
just,
Because
I only wish that he would have beat Thanos' ass for maybe a minute versus 20 seconds. was for
I
20
mean, he
seconds.
wasn't even beating his ass because he didn't do any damage.
Well, what I'm saying, for 20 seconds, he looked like Muhammad Ali tapping on somebody's ass.
But he didn't do any damage though. Like,
okay, I ain't saying about doing damage. I'm saying for the eye test. For the eye test, he was fucking Thanos up with them combinations. And to me, I was like, oh yeah. But then Thanos was like, shake that shit off. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, and I was the only one clapping immediately after that scene because I knew better than that. I'm like, you guys really think that Captain America is gonna beat Thanos? Like, come on, yo.
Oh shit! The first Star Wars, Force Awakens came out. I had seen a spoiler online, man, and this spoiler was down to the T. Everything was correct about this movie.
They got something like when I watched Power, man, somebody leaked the whole episode. I was like, God, but hey.
Now see, I've dealt with spoilers before, like with Crisis on Infinite Earths. Like I saw a couple of thumbnails for a couple of scenes. Like one of them was Lucifer because I saw the thumbnail of him smiling. I was like, oh shit. Like that was an accident. It was like the one moment when I went on and my mind was like, don't do it, Terrence. And sure enough, the other part of my mind, like, no, it'll be fine. Just check the little comments. That was the first fucking video there. I was like, God damn it. But at the same time, I was happy because he specifically said in an interview, when the lady was like, so are you going to be in this whole Crisis thing? Oh, no. Warner Brothers didn't come to me about that. Then to see that, I was like, yo, you the best liar ever. Like,
let's read
adamant about that shit.
Because Ninjord is excellent. He said Danny is correct about Peter and Gwen. Thank you, Ninjord. Thank you.
Hold on. How does Ninjord correct when I said specifically that I agree with the Peter and Gwen thing? And how amazing it was in Amazing Spider-Man 1 and how it was better than Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst. Like,
don't worry, he just fucked it up in this next comment. 1 and 2 are the best Spider-Man films in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Good job, Ninja.
Facts, Ninja.
Good job, Ninja.
You fucked it up.
But yeah, no, Danny.
I respect your opinion, Danny. Okay, you kind of back and forth.
But see, I don't want no spoilers. Like, I can watch trailers now. If I watch a trailer and they do some stupid shit, like the ending of the movie is in the trailer, and then I watch the movie and go, oh, like how they did in the Amazing Spider-Man 2 with the Rhino. But here's the thing, though: if I'm watching a trailer, there's a possibility for a couple of things, but it's not as significant as somebody reading to you full-blown spoilers about the movie. That's not the same thing.
Well, I knew Cap was gonna grab Mjolnir. I read it in a spoiler, so I was ready.
Oh hell no, Jason! I'd have been mad as hell. I'm like there was a dude that got beat up too, like because he came out of the movie and he was like, oh, they come out of the portals and he catches Mjolnir. He got jumped. I still remember reading that fucking story. I was like, that's what you get. You get what you fucking deserve, like the Joker said. I'm like, why you gonna come out people in line and you gonna spoil the entire Endgame movie in less than 40 seconds? Hell no. Shit, even the Avengers wouldn't have saved his ass. Tony would have been like, that is a stupid motherfucker right there. He gonna fly away.
Darth 3 said, but before the MCU got popular, I told them to go see the movies, but they didn't because at the time they didn't like Marvel. But once they saw the movies, they became Marvel fans.
That's how it was for like everybody. That
majority.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 1 and 2 and the Amazing Spider-Man 2 are good. I agree with some of what you said. I would like the MCU to go PG-13 with blood like before.
The MCU has always been PG-13.
PG-13, yeah.
He must have been blood. I won't Dredd in MK11, but they put RoboCop in MK11. Nothing we can do about that. Oh hell
yeah! Like Dredd, I could picture that being a cool Mortal Kombat character, like with his fighting experience and what his gun can do. Oh hell yeah!
You talking about the hand-shaped whale from the Amazing Spider-Man? Yeah, I thought that was cool how they did that. Yeah, I like that. That was cool.
Oh, when she was falling. Yeah.
That was
cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Part 1, I like the organic web because he got bit by the spider, so he should inherit all of his spiders, not just certain ones, while including the organic webs.
Yeah, right.
It makes sense. It makes sense. That's why, like, Like, if I were in that office and they're like, "Hey, Terrence, what do you think about organic webs?" I'd be like, explain how you tend to use it, and they explain it, and it's like how you see in the movie. I'd be like,
See, I like how they
okay,
did it too. I watched it just today, and they explained that Peter's dad put his DNA in the spider, so that's how
mm,
it transferred to Peter
Mhm.
Parker, and then it would work with
yeah,
everybody else. See, I didn't know that in the
yeah,
first. So I like,
yeah.
so I
No,
like,
that
knowing,
that, that
I like knowing
that's
that
fine.
backstory.
No,
You
that's fine. But I mean, like I said, I didn't have a problem with it. It was just a little bit surprising, but
Mhm.
made it work. You can make it work. Like I said, certain things initially might sound silly, but I always say, I
but did
hope it
okay,
works.
but didn't the Andrew Garfield Spider Peter Parker seem more intelligent than the first Peter Parker?
Um, okay, I'll tell you this. In terms of his scientific properties, in terms
Yes.
of we seeing it executed, because in the first Spider-Man film with Tobey Maguire,
Hold on,
we
guys.
saw him talk about the species of spiders, and then Harry stole that shit so he can get his dick wet with MJ. Like it was implied that he was smart, but in the Andrew Garfield's case, we saw more of his intelligence outright. So I can give you that one, Danny. That's true.
All right. Darth 3 says, I have seen Star Wars movies, but the people who said that Marvel is better than Star Wars and that Star Wars suck have never seen Star Wars movie. You are probably correct, Darth Reese.
Hmm. Oh yeah,
Mad says,
Danny.
yeah, huh?
I was gonna say before you read that, I'm like, I'm glad to be doing a stream with you again.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it. The feeling is mutual. Um, Mad says, yay, y'all still going. Yeah, Mads is always 3 hours on Sundays from 6 to 9.
Hmm.
She said, I can see how that would bug Jason as a computer guy, like some fighting brothers, Terrence. I'm not sure what she's referring to.
Um, yeah, like Maz, clarify. I'm not sure what you mean.
You know what she's saying on here?
Yeah, I think that was when I was talking about the 3PO.
3PO thing? Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, in regards to me, I don't know what she means by that. So I don't get it.
She said, I guess you sound like fighting brothers going the back and forth.
Oh.
I guess
We are
so.
brothers, Mads. We're brothers.
Yeah, yeah,
We're all
we
I'm,
brothers
definitely
there.
are. But I don't view it as us fighting as much as it is that
nah,
No,
the
it's
not
just a
fighting.
debate.
discussion is good.
No.
You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying?
I'm True Skills. What's up? Thank you for joining us, bro. Your avatar is fire. I am a big
Yeah, it
fan.
is.
I'm not a fan so much of Deadpool, but I love Juggernaut and Wolverine.
That outfit, I would love to see that in the MCU. Like Kevin Feige would make that outfit look so damn cool. So
Talking
that's
about
that's the aspect that I am excited about. Like it because I would have preferred not to do the whole merger thing, but if you
talking
can
about
do it like the costumes, I'm down to
talking
see
about
that.
Deadpool.
No, no, Wolverine.
Wolverines.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Hmm.
the whole black with the red eyes. Like Kevin Feige would make that look sick, especially at nighttime. Oh shit,
yeah.
man.
My nephew's in robotics. I get it.
I
Um,
was about to see real stuff here.
Batman versus Shredder, awesome fight. Yeah, I was like, how in
Hmm.
the hell Shredder even
I was
on the
impressed
ball?
with that fight, boy.
That fight was even. The only
Hmm.
because Batman was hurting Shredder and vice versa. Batman made a mistake, and that's when Shredder did that move that would kill 99.9 of anyone
Hmm.
it's gonna hit. But somehow Batman didn't die, and then he recovered to fight the turtles. I'm like,
Hmm.
man, I feel like I need to hit you with like 10 of those just to make sure, like the ultimate
Mhm.
move. Like,
Iron Man dying was on my recommended video list on YouTube before Endgame coming out.
Hmm.
oh man.
That was all
Oh,
over.
Darth Reese. That's why I stayed away. I was able to avoid that. And then I'm telling you, it must have been not even 36 hours after I seen the movie that people had thumbnails of him with the glove. I was like, I feel
Hmm.
bad for people didn't see this
Yeah,
shit.
Hmm.
That's
I got
messed
that
up.
shirt. I got the shirt. That
Hmm.
shirt was
I'm
hard to
Iron
get.
Man.
I'm telling you, the best scene to me for his acting was when he came back from space when Captain Marvel saved him.
Yeah, me too.
How he went
Me
off
too.
on How you went off on Captain them?
Me too.
That right there is
Um,
fire.
Me too.
it was good, but I think his acting that I saw in Iron Man 1, where he was in the cave when he was talking to Dr. Jensen, I thought that was a better acted scene.
Mm, that was
Like,
good, but
because to me, like when people are like he should win an Oscar, I'm like that's bullshit. Stop
No,
being biased.
I'm not
me
saying
neither.
Yeah, I'm not saying you guys said that, but that's what I heard, and I'm like, there go
Mhm.
that biased Marvel shit again. I'm like, you mean to tell me that this is as good as these other performances? And at that time, I was naming them, but I'm like, if he gets an Oscar here, why not get an Oscar for what he did in Iron Man 1? You're not making any sense. Stop it.
Mhm.
House on Fighting in Movies bugs Terrence. Okay. All right. Okay. Now I got I know who I think. Okay, let me get this last one. Do you guys think a peak physical conditioned human be able to handle extreme gravity like in Dragon Ball Z Gravity Room? Hell no.
Wait. Say that again, there.
Do you think do you guys think a peak physical conditioned human would be able to handle X3 gravity like in Dragon Ball Z Gravity Room? Hell no.
Okay. Here's the thing. What would happen is they would have to build up to it. Like they would have to probably start at like 1% and then work their way up. They couldn't like start at like 30 or something like Goku and them because they're physically more powerful and stronger than humans. So I think that in real life, if the government or somebody were to create that, assuming that they don't have it already somewhere, like that, they would make it in a way to where it's possible for a person to enter and not die as long as they don't turn it up to 100 times gravity right away, like fucking Yamcha's dumbass and almost died.
I got a list of stuff. We've been caught up on the chat. There is a rumor that Boba Fett will be in The Mandalorian 2, and that the actor that played Jango Fett will be reprising that role. Have y'all heard that?
Yep. I think it's a good idea. I don't mind it. I was watching freaking Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, Empire Strikes Back on Disney Plus the other day, and I was like, they put Django's voice into Boba Fett, and I didn't realize when they did that. Like, if you go back and watch Empire Strikes Back, where he's talking to Lando or Darth Vader, he's no good to me, dead.
Yeah,
They
it's
have
Jango.
Django's voice in it now.
They probably did a remastered version to everything. Because if you watch the Star Trek's on TV now, like the old with Kirk and Spock,
Mm-hmm.
the special effects are so much better now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like that. Nah, 'cause I've seen them back then. Now that wasn't like that. But then I forget. Now they show them. Now they're remastered and digitally touched up, so they got a better quality of the special effects and stuff. So
That's what they did with all 6 Star Wars on Disney Plus, eh? They remastered them. They look beautiful, man. The pod racing looks beautiful.
I still haven't seen Rise of Skywalker. I'm probably gonna try and watch that sometime this week.
I couldn't do it.
I know you called, text me and said, "Oh, do it, Danny," and shit. Oh, text, boy, I fell asleep.
Yeah, I was like, I couldn't do it, man.
Am I like cutting in and out, or can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
It sounds like some wind and stuff behind you or something.
Oh yeah. I'm outside washing a car.
I got you. In case any of you have not watched this, just watch it. Tell your friends. This movie came out in 2015. I watched it today. Somehow this movie escaped. I don't know how it flew under the radar, but it's called The Last Night, and it stars Clive Morgan Freeman.
Mm-hmm.
That movie, it had me like, when the time I saw Morgan Freeman and his part, I was hooked. I only stopped because Terrence called me and told me give him a call, and I paused long enough. We talked a few minutes. I went back, man. That movie is awesome. So if you want a movie that you haven't seen, fly on the radar, it got action, it got a definite twist to it. If you like the old medieval type movies, which I love, and it's not too it's not it's at a good pace. It's not too slow. And man, I'm telling you,
I know I've
that
seen it. I don't remember it though, but I've seen it.
basically
I can't speak on it yet.
Morgan Freeman is like a one of the barons or kings in this particular kingdom, and he's the emperor. rules the whole land and stuff, kind of like Palpatine. And so the guy that's two steps under the emperor is greedy and ambitious, and so he's asking all the other barons for money.
Mm.
Well, Morgan Freeman like, nah, I'm not paying no money. I'm not giving you no bribes. I ain't giving you none of that shit. This shit ain't happening. So Morgan Freeman got some kind of illness, which they don't tell us what it is. And his right hand man is the commander, which is Clive Owen. He's like his best fighter, and he got a whole army of troops under him. So they make the trip to the place, and him and the guy get to Morgan Freeman and the guy above him get to a confrontation, and the guy makes it seem like he was attacked by Morgan Freeman.
Mm.
This guy is an asshole. So the emperor is like, well, the cost of this is death and all this kind of stuff. And then Morgan Freeman makes this big speech and tells the people how that guy above him is a cancer and he's going to mess up the whole kingdom if they don't get him in check. But the emperor is kind of feeling that guy. And so he said, something going to happen and you're going to have to die. So this asshole don't let him die by normal means. He makes his commander kill, and then that's where the movie takes off, and it's good.
It's on Netflix.
I'm not sure if it's on Netflix or not. I saw it on Showtime today.
Showtime. Mm.
It
Well,
may be on
you know
Netflix.
me, Danny. Like I gotta see every movie at least once. That's how I am.
Well, you need to watch that movie. From I think your level is a stinking pile of hot horse shit to awesome. I would give this movie definitely a 9, if not a 10.
Okay. I'll check it out.
Yeah, no,
Definitely.
I'll definitely get to it. Like, cause
Yeah.
movies. Like I said, I gotta see everything at least once.
Yeah. It's 5 years old, but it's good. But I don't see how I missed it.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I'm the
You see
movie
how much?
guy, and there are movies that fly under my radar too because there's just so many of them.
I don't see how much money that made.
But I also see more than a lot of people because I actually look for movies too. But that doesn't mean that I'm gonna know about everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm the kind of dude where I'm like, man, this movie looks like shit. All right, press play.
Oh Lord, I see what. I see why.
Didn't make money.
Only made $3.5 million.
Jesus
Damn.
Christ. I can make more money than that. Never, but yeah, I understand.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean though. Yeah, that's
It maybe was released straight to.
straight to video.
Straight to video. How
Well,
can I
yeah,
tell that?
that's different. But usually, like the straight to video things happen when like a studio doesn't believe that the film can be very lucrative.
Mm.
That it won't be
Worldwide,
supported by the masses, kind of shit.
I don't see why it didn't do well, but she only made $1.79 million worldwide.
Well, yeah, like I mean, when it comes to movies, like some of them I could understand why they don't do well, and others, like okay, so on. But to me, I kind of just know off the bat. I'm like, well, I can see this not having mass appeal because a lot of movies don't. There's only certain ones that go to the theater, and then the ones that do, then they may not last very long because there's something else more intriguing. So it's really hard to be able to necessarily assess what will appeal to people because sometimes they thought certain things and then you get failures. But like with Han, with Solo, they thought that was going to be successful and nobody cares about that shit. But I think unless it's like something that's proven to work, like unless it's like something that already has a name, like you do something with like some type of Planet of the Apes or Predator or something, the potential for it to make money is there. Depending on what kind of story you're pitching, studios might be willing to gamble on it. They might be like, oh, okay, this could do something, and this maybe can give us the opportunity to rework some of the kinks that didn't work the last time. But if
Do it
it's
for
like
a low
something
budget.
fresh, yeah, like if it's something fresh, they might be like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about this one. I think we
Mm-hmm.
would be
Mm-hmm.
better off just doing it for low budget, and then we just release it on video on demand or something.
But that's exactly why there's so many remakes, is because they have no faith in these new projects that they're doing, so they just keep rehashing the same old shit. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Like,
But I mean, we do get a lot of movies though, like in
no,
theater
yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
well, not anymore, but
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah.
But you can't blame them on that. You got to blame the fans because sometimes the fans they'll love
Dictate.
to
Mm-hmm.
say, "I want to see something different. I want to see something new," and they get something different and new. Then
Mm-hmm.
they go back and say, "Well, that's not my Spider Man. That's not my Superman." Fans full.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the fans are full of shit.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
here's the thing
Absolutely.
though: the fans don't make up the majority of the box office. People like my mom do.
No, no, but some of the fans, people like Star Wars fans, when Cat, what's her name? Cat. Oh, I can't think of her name.
Kathleen Kennedy.
And Kathleen
Yeah,
Kennedy
Kennedy.
try to have her own agenda or whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to call it. It was not what we're used to seeing. Most people that I talk to that are Star Wars fans, she's messing it up. She's doing this, she's doing that. Now some of her stuff don't make sense. Now if you look at Rise of Skywalker, like it looked like 4 or 5 different directors did that movie. They put this
it
in,
don't
that in.
even look like one director did it. It looks
But the
like
other, I'm saying
somebody just like found it.
it looked like 4 or 5 directors
Mm-hmm.
input it. But the two before that, they weren't bad as Rise of Skywalker. I don't know what Rise of Skywalker is like a Frankenstein movie. This song,
You're right. I can't deny that there are some really interesting and or toxic fans, depending on the situation. But
Mm-hmm.
you still need the help of the average person. Like if it
I'm not saying
say
that. But what I'm saying is, let's say we make a tomorrow the studios say, let's make a Crab Man, and Crab Man might be have hellacious powers and all this kind of stuff. But if you see somebody come to you with a Crab Man script or a Spider Man script, which one you gonna gravitate towards? Which one you think the fans are gonna want to see?
okay, like
Spider-Man.
and now am I in charge of this MCU kind of thing?
You in charge of it,
Okay,
and
but
me and Terrence are the writers, and Terrence come to you and say, um, Terrence, I'm sorry, Jason come to you and say, Terrence, I want to do a Guardians of the Galaxy 4 or whatever, and it's this, and this, and it ties all together. I'm gonna say, Terrence, I want to do another X-Men, but I want a black Magneto and I want a black Charles Xavier. You already told
okay,
me in the past you could be like, hell no. But my script could be better than Terrence's, than Jason's, and you're gonna give him the shot.
no, absolutely not. Like, okay, look, if I look over the script and yours is better, I will entertain something that already is initially distasteful, like race
Terrence,
swapping.
you just said okay, you said in earlier streams that you would tell somebody be like, hell no, because there are more black superheroes out here that you can explore. Go back and find
Yeah,
a record story on
yes,
one of
but the circumstances are a little different. If you're asking me to choose between a good script of some shit I don't like and it's just a personal thing versus a bad script, I will always pick the good script because I want to make a good movie. Like if you have the whole they're black, I'm like, man, Danny, the fuck is this shit? What kind of agenda driven shit is this? Why are they black? And then Jason comes in there like, yo, T, I got that Guardian Volume 4, yeah. I'm like, all right, I high five Jason, right, Jason?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, and then we clean the glasses together. I'm like, Danny fucking up talking about this black shit and stuff.
and he
And
knew
then
what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say, you got the guy that played Moff Gideon wanting to play Magneto, and we got Denzel Washington wanting to play Charles Xavier.
no, see that doesn't move me. Like what's gonna end up moving me is after
That's
I
gonna
high
move
five
me.
Jason.
If I got two Oscars that want to play it, and
Nope,
they're damn
nope.
good actors, and I
No.
know
For me
and
personally, it wouldn't move me. Here's the thing that would move me over that. I read Jason's Guardians Volume 4, and like let's just say I think it's like the worst thing I ever read in terms of comic book movie. I'd be like, nah, Jason. I would then go to you and be like, okay, let me read this. verbatim. Oh my God, this story is amazing. I feel like I'm in love with the story. At this point, I can make exceptions to changes because the story is so good, which is something I told you
How about
before.
the
What if?
equal?
Yeah, I was just about to say that. What if the stories are equal?
Like, okay, so Guardians 4 is equal to the X-Men with the race swapping.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's what I thought.
okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like, honestly, I would like want to make them both because if I'm running Marvel, then I'm gonna do both of them if I think they're both good.
Well, which
But
one you
I
gonna
would
do first?
I'd prioritize the fucking Guardians.
See that?
But but again though, I would still go to your thing. And then once you tell me the casting, because I'm like, look, like I told you, I don't like forced agenda. We need to appeal to people shit. I don't like that shit. But at the same time, if you can make it good, that is what I want. I'm like, I don't like this, but I'm cheering for these characters. I know these characters. I like these characters. I grew up with the majority of the shit that you're gonna put on the screen, with maybe the exception of someone's cousin that I never fucking heard of, maybe. But like,
Okay.
aside from that, I'm like, yeah,
Well, let me ask you
make
this:
them good.
if you are in a position of power and someone that looks like the three of us and not getting as many opportunities as other people that don't look like us, why would you be so opposed to giving that opportunity just on that alone? If they're
Because
if you had the power to do that,
I would give them something better. I would say, I'm going to give you an opportunity to do something that you can be recognized for, and you won't have any distasteful discussions, because no matter what you do, you know what's going to happen? You're always going to be the black Magneto, no matter what you do. Like that stupid shit they were talking about, like they're going to reboot Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Buffy Summers is going to be black. No matter how good your fucking show is, you're always going to be the black Buffy the Vampire Slayer because you did not come first.
I'm
Instead
okay
of
with
that
that.
shit, that's fine. But me being in charge, I'm not okay with that for you. I'd be like, no, what I want you to be is in a position where you are bringing to life other actual black characters that people don't know, and that will be staple to your name. And you're going to make all kinds of money
but
because
that
we're
ain't
going to make
always
it right.
true because the guy David Hasselhoff played Nick Fury first, but everybody says Samuel Jackson Nick Fury. They don't say the black Nick Fury. They say
Okay,
Samuel
but
Jackson.
but again, that is a little different whether they know it or
No,
not, because there are some precedents in the comics to where Nick Fury has been black. That is different. To me, it's different because that's not race swapping as it is. You're just choosing a different interpretation that already exists. So now it just comes down
okay,
to, do I want
well,
to do the
you can
white
same
ones
thing
or the
be
black
saying
ones?
about Green Lantern. The first Green Lantern was white, Hal Jordan. Then it was John
Hmm.
Stewart. They don't
Right.
say the black Green Lantern; they say Green Lantern, and
No, I know,
not as a female Green Lantern. So I don't hear
okay, yeah,
nobody
that
refer.
no, they won't, because look, you are talking about the Green Lanterns. There are a lot of Green Lanterns. Magneto is not black. That's the difference. You have to make him black.
Okay, but what
With
I'm
Green
saying,
Lantern, you can put different races, and that already exists, so it's not a problem. Just like the
but
people were trying to say that Iron Fist was racist because they made him white. I'm like, he's white in the comic books. Yeah, I bet you didn't know that shit. Not you guys, but talking to them, I was like, yeah, they didn't know that shit. So that conversation stopped because they thought that was the case, but it wasn't. So I'm like, no, you to me, I would want the best for you, which means I don't want you to have hand me downs, little scraps and shit that you're only in this position because other people did it before you that happen to be white. When we got our own shit that we can do,
okay,
it's up to us to bring that to life. You mentioned our people, right? All of us on this panel, black as fuck. We're African Americans, whatever you want to call us. I know that there are a bunch of black characters that people never heard of, and there are opportunities when they could do it. Like Black Lightning, that's a hit show. It's been for
mm-hmm.
3 years, and people are like, damn, this shit is awesome. See, you need to do more stuff like that. So now you can get Black Lightning fans instead of Black Magneto fans. That's all I'm saying in the situation. If I'm in power, I would want something better for you as a black actor. That's all I'm saying.
And I agree with you 100%. But Black Lightning would have never been on the big screen because the risk is too high, right?
Okay, here's the
So,
thing though. But that's not. If I can counteract that, Jason, I'll tell you this.
mhm.
DC has been making risky decisions since 1940. That is their track record. They are not afraid of risk. They're the ones that do stuff like, here's a black character, here's a Hispanic character, here's a gay character, here's a female lead. They were doing that shit before Marvel claimed everything. Like, hey, look at us, we did it first. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. DC was doing that shit. They had
In
a
the
Birds of Prey.
comics, yeah, and in the comics, totally different than actually doing it on the big screen, though.
No, but what I'm saying is that DC's track record with their live action and their animation is nothing but risk. That's only another risk. That's not going to be anything new to them. They take risks all the time because people are going to say what? It's risky because then it could be the whole people don't like it. The entire concept of the DCU is nothing but risk. They don't care about that. They do stuff like, we're going to do Birds of Prey. We're going to make an R-rated Joker movie. We're going to make Justice League Dark murder everybody. That's what they do. They don't care. They just have to believe in the project. That's all it takes. They're not afraid of shit.
Yeah, I could agree with
They
that.
they weren't afraid of the MCU. They was like, yo, we doing Batman versus Superman. They put that stamp on it until we saw it, and it's like, that's not what that should have been. But they were confident in that shit. They was like, yo, what's up, Marvel? We got Batman and Supes in the same movie. What you got? They were flexing. You know what I'm saying? They did Wonder Woman. They did Wonder Woman before the fucking Kevin Feige did Captain Marvel. DC was doing that shit first. That's the first female lead. You know, all the big dick swingers in Hollywood talking about, oh, the female stuff can't work. Warner Brothers was like, here, hold my shades. Wonder Woman. What's up?
They should have done World's Finest first. Why would have done? Anyway, Niner Zeno said, is Mr. Hercules / Mr. Satan considered a superhuman? I don't think he's a superhuman. I think he's at peak physical condition for a human. His power level is shit lower than mine. But as far as like a key or anything, or flying or shooting any kind of energy blast, he can't do that. But he's like at not, I wouldn't say peak physical condition, but he's right under that.
No. Hercule is peak physical human condition. Like, in fact, it's implied in all the Dragon Ball Z. Like, when he broke through all those bricks and shit, he was the only one that was able to do that at the martial arts tournament in terms of the humans. Like, he has demonstrated incredible martial arts feats. The only thing that people tend to miss is because his character is a liar in terms of taking credit for stuff that like Goku and Vegeta does. But he has his own impressive feats. It just ceases to be as impressive when you compare it to the likes of Goku and Vegeta, because then he seems like nothing. But if you take him out of that animation and put him in real life, he beat the shit out of me. He killed me in 2 fucking seconds. Like, he's too strong. In fact, he took hits from Cell. Cell punched him in the face and punched him in a mountain, and he didn't die.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, like, so Hercule is not a chump as much as he is. He's a douchebag. He's a con artist. You feel me? He's like that dude.
Darth Reed said yes, it's on Netflix. I think he was referring to that Knights movie.
Yeah, he was.
Last night.
Yeah, he was.
Gentlemen, we got 9 minutes left. And I am getting off of here at 3 hours because I got something I have to do. But I will say before then, kind of on wrapping it up, I've definitely enjoyed this. It was much needed because y'all two knew what I went through. Still touch and go some days. But I'm seeing the end of the tunnel. I definitely enjoyed it. Tomorrow night I will be back on my regular schedule, and we'll be doing the 5 rating the top 5 animated DC movies, Terrence. So
yeah, I didn't see them all. There might be one that I didn't see. That's possible because
I haven't seen Hush, like I told you earlier. I gotta check that out.
Right. If I'm not mistaken, the DCAU as a whole, because Apokolips War ended with a sea of movies like 15 or 16 where they were connected to each other. But then you just have other DC AU movies where maybe 1 or 2 are connected, and you got this one by itself and that one by itself. But like, there should be a little more than 38 of them, if I'm not mistaken. They've made a shit ton of them. So
yeah, I think the first one started in 2013. I'm looking now, and that was Justice League: The Flashpoint.
Oh, was Flashpoint was first? I thought Justice League War was first.
Justice League War came out.
I think that was the one that started it. The ones that's
Flashpoint
leading up to it.
Flashpoint came out in 2013.
Yeah.
Justice League War came out in 2014. Son of
Yeah.
Batman came out in 2014.
Hmm.
Throne of Atlantis came out in 2015.
Yep.
Batman versus Robin came out in April of 2015.
Right.
Batman Bad Blood came out January 20th,
Oh, that's my
just
shit right there.
2016. Justice League versus Teen Titans came out March 29, 2016.
Hmm.
Justice League Dark came out 2017. Teen Titans, the Judas Contract. I never heard of that one. That came out
Oh
April 4th,
man, you gotta
2017.
watch that one. If you like Teen Titans, you gotta watch that one.
Suicide Squad Hell to Pay,
Mhm.
2018. The Death of Superman came out July 2018. Reign of Superman came out in January 2019. Batman Hush came out in July of 2019.
Right.
Wonder Woman Bloodlines came out in October. And Justice League, they skipped one because Red Sun came out a couple months back.
But
Mhm.
that's not connected to the main story that is Apocalypse War. That's a one off. Just like Teen Titans versus Teen Titans Go, same thing.
Okay. Well,
So,
Justice League Dark came out May 5th, 2020. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 movies
and
since
they're all
Yeah, so
connected.
yeah, those are connected to
Holy
Apocalypse
shit.
War specifically, but
Mm-hmm.
you have many more than that that are either their own thing or it just has one or two movies in terms of a follow up, like where you
Mm-hmm.
can watch those two or three and then you don't necessarily have to watch anything else. But like this whole Apocalypse War, it functions better if you've seen those other films, but at the same time, you can still just watch that and it could just be a great experience without having seen it.
Got you. I've seen most of
So,
them. I
yeah,
didn't see
yeah.
all of them, but I see most of them on that list.
Everything that he's named, I've seen. Like, so, like I said, there might be one or two maybe that I didn't see, but I'm pretty sure I saw them all.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure. Because every time I notice that I haven't seen something, I jump on it right away. And, I normally pay attention to the DC animated stuff. I started watching them many years ago when they kind of started up, and I've been kind of keeping on it ever since. I don't care if it's Batman Mask of the Phantasm, Batman Sub Zero. Like I don't care which one it is.
Mm-hmm.
Return of the
And
Joker, whatever.
Under the Red Hood, all of that.
All that kind of stuff. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder Woman shit was dope. Like her
Yeah,
animated movie was amazing.
yeah, it was. It really
I was
was.
like,
You
yo,
know.
the Wonder Woman is it, man. Like she, she more or less saved the DCU. That's something where I
Mm-hmm.
can say, yo, yeah, a female did this shit. I could definitely say that, and it's facts. To where other people may try to do some kind of agenda or something. I'm like, no, Wonder Woman came in and she was Thor's face. You get Aquaman, you get Shazam, and people are like, okay, okay, I see you, DC. What else you got? See,
Mm-hmm.
that's how people are with DC. They be like, oh, that was pretty good, DC. You probably got lucky. What else you got coming out? I'm like, damn, motherfucker. I'm like, all right, we gotta hit it again. Like, do another home run. Like these motherfuckers.
Yeah, most people know DC animation is the shit, though. Like they know.
But see, here's the thing, though, man. I be talking to humans. They don't be fucking with the animation like that. Like they seen like maybe one or two of them, like probably maybe a Batman or Superman one. But there'd be like the whole sea of them where they're like, oh, I didn't watch that one or
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
didn't hear that one. I'm like, yo, you gotta get on that. They're like, all right, T, like,
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna watch all of them, but which five do you recommend? And they'll kind of do it like that.
Yeah, that I can see.
They're like, all right, so these are the five. That you sure these are the five? Because I'm not doing all 40,000 of them. I'm like, all right, all right. Are you sure you don't want to watch the other 89,000 movies? They're like, nah, T, I'm not really into it like you. I'm like, what if I were to tell you that my life depends on you watching all these films? They was like, T, that's not the case. I'm like, no, it's a hypothetical. What if the gun is to my head right now and they was like, if your friend don't watch the DCAU to completion, we gonna blow your fucking brains out. You better watch these damn movies.
I feel you, man. But if they did that and told me to watch The Last Jedi, bro, I'd be like, Terrence, I think you gotta go.
Damn, that's messed up, Jason. I'm gonna be dead. That's gonna be like my last memory. Like, yo, your friend is like, nah.
Like, no, I can't do this shit.
I'm gonna have that. I'm gonna have that face that Jason Todd had as Red Hood when he was like, "Fight me, Batman," and Batman was
Mm-hmm.
like, "No," and he just walked off, and he had the most devastated look I've probably ever seen in animation. Like,
Oh
yo,
shit.
they be getting them expressions down, Jason and Danny, and them DC
Mm-hmm.
animations. Like, they,
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why the DCEU can't tap into the DC animated verse and CW
Me
because they
neither.
seem to know what the hell they're doing, but the people at DC, I just don't understand it.
okay,
If they,
let's go over how many DCEU movies there are. What do you have? You got Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Suicide
Mm-hmm.
Squad, Wonder Woman, Justice League, Aquaman, Shazam, Birds of Prey. That's only 8 movies. And out of the 8, these are the movies that I think are great that did stuff that Marvel didn't even do. That's Man of Steel, that's Wonder Woman, that's Aquaman. And then
Mm-hmm.
let me see what the fourth one. I even throw Shazam in there. I like Shazam. Like to me, those are the 4 that they got, which is not bad. I mean, that's like half. I mean, some
Mm-hmm.
might say that's 50%, but the reason why I give it more credit is because look at what those 4 movies did, especially like Man of Steel and Aquaman. The shit that they did with the water. I mean, there were like 2 in-game scenes in Aquaman when he was under the water and shit. When he was fighting all those creatures, I'm like, that was way
Mm-hmm.
more people than what happened in in-game. And Aquaman was by himself. He didn't have the Justice League helping him. That was like his first shit that he had to do, and he had to deal with his brother that whooped his ass earlier on in the movie. So I'm like,
yeah,
man.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at Man of Steel, there's still not a fight scene that I've seen that tops Superman versus Zod. In terms of a comic booky like fight, nope, haven't seen it. That whole going through the buildings, you getting punched up in space and smacked back down to earth, and you destroy an entire city. I was like, I never thought I would ever see this in live action. This is like the conversation that starts in a room and then they never shoot it. It's like you might get like them flying through one building and then it's over. I'm like, no, Superman, he needs to destroy stuff, not on purpose, but that's the nature of like how powerful his opponents is and how much power they have to put out to stop him. You gonna be getting knocked around. Oh, let's fly him to this city, and that person can't punch Superman a couple miles back to that city to get him back there because that's what happens all the time anyway. He tries to leave and he gets smacked right back to that position. Or the fight ends up in another heavily populated area. I mean, you can only go so far unless you're like fighting on an island that spans like thousands of miles.
Mm-hmm. I just think that, like Danny said, their animation is so much above the movies that if they just took some of the stories, man, like just get some of the stories. Like, how can you make a fucking apocalypse movie that's an animation so good, but you can't do that in real life? You know what I
I
mean?
mean,
And
they can't they can. It's just the way that Warner Brothers is working. Like they could change it, but like they like to do a lot of different things at once, which is one of the reasons why I like them so much because we get to pick and choose. Like, how do you have you with the Arrowverse by itself? You had a multiverse, and then you established a new multiverse with new shows coming out left and right. You're continuing with that. That's just as developed, if not even more developed, than the shit that the MCU did. Because the Arrowverse has done time travel properly. You know, they've done other dimensions. They've done multiple versions of different characters. They've already beat Marvel to that shit already. They're way ahead of them on that. So they got that in combination with the DCAU. They got the video game stuff, and they got the animation, and they
mhm.
got their side stuff on the DC streaming service. Like, how do you manage all that? That's a lot of talent in itself, and because of that, you're gonna get some missteps. But when you get the good areas, that's when they really start flexing. They're like, okay, y'all didn't like this movie. What about this one? And you get the element of surprise. Like DC be surprising me and shit. Marvel,
Mhm.
their surprises only happen when it's like, when it's in the movie. Like Cap catching Mjolnir, you're like, yay. But that's not like Man of Steel or Joker, like where it's just like, yo, what the hell? I couldn't have told you that this shit was coming. Cap catching Mjolnir, I knew that was gonna happen eventually. I didn't think it was gonna happen right then and there. But we knew that was gonna happen at some point. That's what I'm talking about. Marvel gives us the familiar. It's like McDonald's and shit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody goes, yeah, cool, McDonald's, fries, nuggets. But man, like when DC is on point, they be like that Outback Steakhouse and shit. They be having them good ass meals. They be like, yeah, you gonna chew on this for a while, and then we'll give you something a little bit later. So that's what I like about DC. So that's why I keep telling people when certain things come out, I'm like, you can keep sleeping on DC, and then when they hit your ass with that surprise, I'm like, you see what Joker did, right? Just flexing all at the Oscars and shit. I'm like, yo, when was the last time one of your Marvel movies did that shit? When they won an Oscar for a performance, you will never see that because that's not what they do with those characters. They're not compelling enough to win Oscars. They're just cool. They're just cool. Iron Man is cool. Cap is cool. Thanos is cool. They're all cool, but they're not compelling. They're just cool. Even y'all agreed that Robert don't deserve no fucking Oscar. He ain't no Joaquin Phoenix. He ain't no Heath Ledger. He ain't none of those people.
No,
I agree. All right, let's wrap it up. And Jason, are you ever gonna get your channel, bro?
actually, I've been thinking about my first video to do. So I'm waiting for something good to come up, but I'm gonna do my first video, and then I was thinking about having my first stream, and of course I'm gonna have you guys on because you guys had me on. So as my first stream, I'd like to have you guys on for sure. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna do something.
So think of a good name. It took us a while to come up with this one.
Yeah, I will. I definitely will.
See, like I just think it'd be interesting. I'm like, oh man, Jason's first video. I'm like, damn, he got me in the thumbnail. I'm like, I see you, Jason Brothers. Yep, I click on it. He got like the mic set up, and he like, I wanted to take a second to, do my first video, and I wanted to talk about YouTubers that I can't stand, and then it just watched that smile fade from my face. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm gonna call Jason. I'm like, I think the audio was messing up, but the title said the YouTubers you couldn't stand, and the audio was messing up. It kind of sounded like my name. I might have to replay it. But
All right, Terry.
You definitely would not be on that list. You would not be on that list, don't worry.
No, I got you.
Tell people where they can find you at, Mr. Terrence.
Oh, yeah, you can find me, here on Sundays with Danny on Equilibrium, and Monday most of the time I definitely try to make that where we have different discussions with Danny and Sean and Mads and others. So you can do that. Find me on this channel twice a week, and then you can also find me on the Tremaine Terrence channel. I definitely started posting there again, so you'll see some stuff from time to time, and that could be ranging from topics or me talking about a TV show or movies, any number of things or something. Yeah, or booties. Yeah. See, I put that there. I put that there to see how many people would click on it in 1 minute, and then I deleted that shit because I was like, it was an experiment, but I was like, damn.
I was like, oh, what's this? Click. I was like, look at this guy. I was waiting for the Terrence commentary, man.
No, I just like randomly did that, and then it just, like I said, it was an experiment. But I think that shit got like fucking 30 views in less than a minute. Like that shit was building up quick. I was like, oh, maybe I should like post more of these more often.
Yeah. And of course, last but not least, my name is Danny. This is my channel. We're on my channel, Comic Chat. This is the show I share with Jason and Terrence. Equilibrium every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We go for usually about 3 hours, talk about a range of things. Today's topic was very stimulating, and we got some good discussion in. Like I said, it's never any malice or heated arguments. It's just sometimes we're on the different ends of the spectrum, but no one is really mad at all. I know I'm never mad, and I don't think the two are either. Sometimes we get laughs out of it. That's mainly what I try to get on some stuff. Tomorrow.
Also, you can get some like moments where your heart is broken if you hear like something devastating.
Yeah,
like Plank Man.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
like blank man.
I know we could not make the show without y'all doing it. I knew it. I was waiting to back of my mind. I said, I bet you can't do it.
Man,
I bet you
man, you
can't
didn't
do it.
even see what I did that night, Danny. I dressed up as blank man and started fighting crime because I was
Well,
so
guess what?
devastated.
If I see you on the TV, let's say a man in California is shot or hurt or something, I said that fool ass Terrence. I told his ass he wasn't no damn blank man.
Okay, number one, like my skill set is higher than blank man. I mean, he do got the intelligence over me.
Yeah.
He's way
Okay.
smarter than me. But I mean, if I were
Last
to
time
have his
I
intelligence
checked,
with
you
the
ain't
fight,
bulletproof.
no. But he did make a costume that's bulletproof, so maybe
Oh,
I
yeah.
could
Okay.
find somebody to give me that. But what if you were to see on the news that it's like, man, blank man, saved some people and beat up said criminals, and you see that it's me.
If you're gonna dress like somebody, I prefer you dress like Steel. Okay, at least you have on something that I would think in my mind. Okay, that might be able to stop a bullet. But you got there dressed in that shit he wear and cut holes in a dish towel and have a damn washing machine running behind you. Man, I'm
Right.
like, look at that fool right there.
Okay, so you
actually
wouldn't be
think he
proud.
might
You wouldn't be proud of me that I like saved some humans and stopped like a bank robbery and
I'd
shit.
be shocked as hell. I'd be on the phone saying, Terrence, you better set your ass down, bro. You got lucky this first time. It ain't gonna happen.
Hold on. So if the situation is like you got 10 bank robbers, I foiled them all and they all had guns, and I managed to save 50 people, how is that luck? Wouldn't that be more skill?
No, that's luck because of the bank robbers be like, damn, we did not account for this. There ain't no bank robber on any continent that's thinking that somebody gonna appear in a blank man costume and thwart their plans.
Okay, and what if they start getting their asses whooped and stuff? Are they going to account for it then?
Yes, you can get in.
Are they going to account for it then when they getting their asses whooped and shit?
I can't help that. Who account for that?
Well, I'm pretty sure if I take out the first three.
Okay, like I said, the first time that happens, that's gonna be luck because I guarantee you the next set of bank robbers are gonna see it on TV and say, okay, we're gonna have you sit out here because that fool come in here in that blank man out costume come in here, Bruce Leroy, whatever the hell he call his name, we're gonna have something for him. So you think that's gonna happen a second time? No.
Okay, first of all, if I have decided to be a full-blown superhero, I would have a contingency plan just in case they thought they were smarter than me by thinking, oh, we're bank robbers, Terrence is going to show up. Okay, Terrence is going to show up, but you don't know where, how, and why. Like, I'm not going to do the same thing twice. It's going to be a different approach.
Okay, you're going to whip the ass. You're going to try to whip the ass at some point, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I got to say
how you going to account for they might have a sniper or somebody like a decoy?
Sniper.
Yeah, or a decoy in the bank dressed in civilian clothes, and when you start whipping ass, they get up and shoot you. How you going to account for that?
Okay, first of all, everybody would be knocked out before I enter. You know what I'm saying? Like,
not the decoy, not the decoy. Have you not watched that movie with Denzel Washington? And they had on the decoy, the inside man.
Okay. That's a good point, but I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be paying attention. If somebody even twitched the wrong way, I'd be like, nope, criminal. It'd just be like the leg breaking, the neck breaking necks. That's how I would do that.
Okay. Well, I'll stand by and watch you on TV.
So you okay? Now, what if I stop three? What if I stop three major crimes?
I would cheer for you from my couch in my living room. Go, Terrence.
Okay, but what if you like got pulled in by your boss and like he was asking you if you know who blank man is, you wouldn't tell him my identity.
I don't know who that is.
So now, what if he said like he's gonna fire you if you don't say? Do you feel like he would betray me and tell him my secret identity?
Sure, I don't know who he is. This person lives in California. I live in South Carolina. That's about 3,200 miles apart. How the hell am I supposed to know somebody in California? I'm gonna keep logic.
I guess the fail thing would be that we're like doing this on a live stream, so like obviously I wouldn't dress as blank man because that'd be too obvious. People like, how the hell am I supposed to know? They're like, well, according to this damn live stream, you are already talking to blank man.
So I was talking to Terrence. Terrence and blank man don't sound nothing alike. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's a nice cover, but you know how them FBI types are. They be like, you know, you done fucked up, Danny.
You
Right?
know, I'll be like, okay, where's my attorney at? Because I'm pleading the fifth.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's when I'm gonna come in as your attorney. I'm like, Danny, don't say anything. My name is
Okay,
Matthew Murdoch.
that's cool. That's cool, bro.
So you're blank man and his attorney. Danny's
You
going to
Yeah,
jail.
I'm blank man. And I'm gonna show up as his attorney, and I'm gonna be with the red glasses, just like Matt Murdock. I'm gonna come in.
Jason, just put something on my account at the prison.
I will. I will.
You think they would catch on to that if I come in like a Matthew Murdoch? You think they would automatically equate it to the Daredevil show, or you feel like it
I'm
would
like,
be that in tune?
oh fuck, I'm going to prison. That's right.
Is it because they don't like Matthew Murdoch, or is it because they just figured out that I'm full of shit? Like,
You're full of shit.
yeah, it would be that one police officer. Like, wait a minute, Matthew Murdoch, isn't that Daredevil dude or something?
Yeah,
Like,
it's a cartoon All right,
shit.
fellas. I enjoyed it, man. I had a good time.
Great
But
show.
I gotta go. I think I'm on another damn stream at 11. I don't know what that. Oh, I want to go sleep, but I gotta go.
Yeah,
see
yeah,
you
it's been a pleasure, guys. Yeah.
Absolutely.
same time next Sunday. I hope something good happens this week. It's been kind of slow for the new wise, but hopefully this crisis will give us something to talk about. If you have anything.
Danny, did you catch up on Flash and shit? Because this week coming up gonna be the season finale.
I have not. I might watch that tonight. I'm glad you told me. I didn't watch. I tell you, I don't know why they took it off my TV channel here. It's crazy. I had to watch it on my iPad on the app.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
They took it off. It took all superhero shows that play on the CW. Don't even play there.
Oh shit.
Play something like Dr. Phil or the Doctors. I don't know what it is. I don't have a clue.
What the hell?
At 8 o'clock, they put Dr. Phil on?
Everyone. I'm always 2 or 3 hours later. I have to watch. I've totally stopped watching Batwoman. The last Batwoman show I saw was when
you ain't missing nothing.
She said she was gay.
Yeah, that's the pilot. You ain't missing shit. Like
I saw all of Black Lightning, but I seen it like I said on my iPad on the app. And the last Flash I saw was when the Mirror Master's husband was trying to kill Joe, and he's in protective custody.
Okay, yeah, because the one that came out last week,
the one after.
You'll see it. It's like, you know,
it's so stupid. Why would you put the husband in protective custody, not his family? Because he can't have his family. That's gonna pull him out of protective custody. So I'm like, what the hell? You don't put one person. Man, get a wife and child at home.
I think it's because they kept trying to murder Joe. That's probably why, I guess. But you know,
parents, if they're trying to murder Joe and he's safe, but his wife and child is not safe, what do you think? If they kidnap and try to threaten hurting them, that's gonna take him out of.
No, you're right, but I think it might be that the villains don't know that those are his family.
I said this. I knew that captain was one of them. Whatever the hell you call him, because he was
mirror guys.
That Mirror Master is trash. Like I think you'll like the next one. It has Godspeed sort of, but like you'll see what they're doing with that. That if I'm right with season 7, that shit's gonna be lit as fuck. Cause I can't wait for them to get rid of Miss Boring and Bland talking about I need to get revenge
on my husband, blah blah.
I'm evil. She's so boring. I'm like, all the other female villains are more interesting there. They have personality and everything. I'm like, she doesn't even seem evil. She just seems like a person that fell in a mirror or something.
We only seen her for like 20 minutes. Sunlight, or whatever her name was. She had, whenever.
Hell yeah.
You know, she come on, man. I'm like, okay, it's time to get the night girl.
Shit, give me Amunet Black, man, but played by Katie Sackhoff. Like, she was on point. The fucking metal and shit. I'm like, she was way better than Miss
Mm-hmm.
Boring and Bland. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
see, I'm like, it's because I remember some humans were telling me, oh, you just don't like her because you're sexist. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? The character is bad. That's what I don't like.
Sometimes Iris is kind of dry too.
Yeah, Iris is.
Mm-hmm.
There were certain moments where I'm like, Iris is cool, but a lot of times I'm like, man, Iris is boring, or she's annoying,
Mm-hmm.
or I don't care. Like she's
I
just
just
that person that shows up like, hey, we Flash. I'm like, no, I'm
mm-hmm.
Flash. You my wife. Stop
Yeah.
trying to take
I
all my power.
I just like her. I think she's cute. That's the only reason why I wanted to stay in the
Oh
show.
yeah, yeah. I
But
would
other
definitely give
than
her some. I'd definitely give her some Speed Force, but that's not the point though. Like,
Only one who I want to get some speed force to is a Thunderbolt. Okay,
Thunder. Oh yeah, Thunder.
but I, honestly, if I'm gonna be fair, I like Nora better than Iris. Like, yo, I'd be fucking with Nora. Like, she got like the cutest smile I've ever seen.
I like
Nora.
Nora.
That's
Who?
The daughter.
yeah, Nora, their daughter.
Oh, she all right.
Man,
Yeah.
that smile, man. I feel like she's one of the
She
few
ain't.
characters that I've
She
seen in
ain't.
the Arrowverse where
She ain't Thunder.
No, of
no, she's
course
not.
not. None of them are
But hey,
Thunder.
but Nora though, to me she's a combination of cute and sexy. Like
Man,
she there's
I can
something
see.
about her.
I can see Thunder on the bed, and I'd be like, "Brrrr."
Same thing with Nora. Like it's gonna be Nora, like, and she gonna have that smile, and I'm like, damn, the clothes gonna come off. I'm gonna turn into a speedster, and that's how it's gonna be. You know,
Yeah.
I tell Barry what happened.
Right.
But Nora don't have that back like Thunder, boy.
I take Thunder over.
Are you sure about that? Did you see the
Yes,
back shots on fucking Nora? Like
I
she got a
have.
booty on her.
I have,
She got
and
a
you're
booty
right.
on her.
She
It ain't.
do. She do. She
She
do.
ain't
But
Thunder.
Have you
Thunder.
seen? Have you seen Nora naked? That actress, like she got a body on her. I'm not playing. Like
Mm-hmm. I know. We
Give
can
me
tell right
Thunder.
away she do. But
yeah, that
not Thunder.
the way they did those back shots for a reason. The way she fills that shit out, like it might be low key, but I'm telling you, I've seen her
Mm-hmm.
naked. Like she working with something. I'm telling you, and
Mm-hmm.
she's
I
cute,
agree.
so she get multiple points. Like if she gonna have that personality and act like Nora, that is getting bent over all day until I just die. Like that's how it is.
Give me Thunder. Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, with thunder, I gotta have thunder and lightning. Just the, and then she does that. I'm telling you, like I, whew.
Lightning can go. You can just give me Thunder. There is one episode where
No. I'm taking both.
she's in these little booty shorts, bro, and I was like, rewind. I could not get off of that spot. I was like, rewind. I was like, oh my god. Like, yeah.
Now, in that situation where there's both of them, that'd be a lot of attitude and stuff. I feel like they'd be trying to give me orders, but then I would establish like, look, I ain't Jefferson, okay? If I tell you to bend over, that's what you're gonna do. Like you better stop that shit, because I could do that too. I will find your weakness. I will talk to Agent Odell, so you're gonna bend the hell over right now.
Bro, the minute she pulls, my dick's in her mouth.
Exactly. As soon as she does that, it's the same thing, and then or it's in the ass, like right. So and then like I feel like that would
Hey,
create a certain kind of pressure.
hey, we gotta keep this somewhat clean. Kids on here.
My
Oh, what I meant was, young children, is that in life, when when you hear that, sometimes there are certain areas that develop, and then you have to relieve pressure. But it's really all within the confines of happiness and friendship and love.
Absolutely.
Especially if you want to, bend them in flexible positions. But anyway, you got to keep it G rated. You
PG.
can't have too many.
PG, guys.
Yeah. I mean, you got to stay safe though. Make sure you got the condoms and
Yeah,
unless you
for
like to do
sure.
it raw. But I mean, the raw comes with possible consequences if you don't know where they come from. If they didn't live with their parents, young children, because when they come from the streets, that's when it can not be as clean. Like when you wash your hands and stuff, they're probably like, "What the hell is he talking about?"
Oh shit.
Drugs are bad, ladies and gentlemen, but sex can save the planet. I saw a documentary about it.
It depends on what kind of drugs, my friend.
Okay, fair enough. If it's like thunder and lightning drugs, then that's like the best drugs right there.
Jeez, that's what I'm talking about. Look at that. Yeah.
Well, how do you guys feel about the other female characters that were on Black Lightning? Any takers or
No,
Mm-mm.
no, no,
like none of them?
no.
Like, how you guys feel about
That's
the
like
chick that play
one woman and about 15 kids.
Yeah,
So
I know.
what about the chick that plays Jefferson's wife? How you guys feel about her? Like to me, she all
Yeah,
right. She all right.
yeah. It's like, all right,
Her
but
her character is self-righteous sometimes and sickening.
yeah, I
Right,
know,
right.
I know,
And
I
read
know.
all that challenge, she ended up with a crackhead.
Damn.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
Damn. Yeah, no, you're not wrong. Like I was like, damn it, come on, get it together. I'm worried about you. I'm thinking she gonna die every episode and
It was
shit.
so bad. She
I thought she was
lying,
gonna kick it.
So
I thought she was
sneaking
gonna
and
kick
taking
it.
them pills.
Yeah,
man,
and she got at the table and she's like, "I'm sorry, I'm
I
gonna do it."
guarantee you, before the end of the next season, she gonna have powers like them.
Yeah,
what about when she slapped Jefferson? I swear when I was on the couch watching it, it was my face went to the side. It was like she slapped me. Like I didn't see that coming.
That would have done. Oh shit! I'm sorry, Lynn. That would have happened.
Hell no, I'm
you
not
know,
gonna do that. I'd be like, if any one of them shock me, I'd be like, hey, you gotta do that again. Increase the intensity. I'm a sucker for pain. Like just amp it up a little bit, and we gonna get right into the family dinners.
I hate when I'm lying. I'm lying. I done went 24 minutes over my objective. I'm gonna answer this last question. I'm about to go. If you choose, if you could choose, would you train with Vegeta or Piccolo and why? Damn, that's a hard question because I like both of them. But if I want to get the most for my money, I gut lean towards Vegeta. Piccolo, I think, would be more hands on with you if he liked you because he was very hands on with um,
Go
Gohan.
on, yeah.
But Vegeta, he would have an intensity that if you could just do 3/4 of what he do, your power level will be tremendously increased, no matter what your particular race is. I think, but I don't
Um,
know if you could deal with Vegeta workout because Vegeta is like an extremist. So
exactly. And speaking of that, I would go with Vegeta because see, me and him have the same mentality. It's like if you die during training, that's absolutely fine, but it's worth the risk that you could possibly get better and stronger. Like I'm the dude that be having the weights fall on his neck and overdosing on supplements and stuff just to try to get stronger. Like so, anything that he's gonna want me to do, I'd be all for it. Like my arm is broken, I'd be like, nah, Prince of All Sands, I can continue. I can't breathe and I can't see, but I'm gonna continue. That's what I'm gonna do. And then you're gonna get Super Saiyan Terrence. In fact, I was already a Super Saiyan. I had my hair like spiked and bleached one time. Like I was officially, a black Super Saiyan. That was a thing back in 2011, Danny. Like
mm,
my shit. That was brought to my attention by some humans. I was walking and it was like, yo, your hair looks awesome. I had to look in the mirror to see how it looked when the sun hit it, but it had like this kind of glowing effect plus the build of my body. It kind of complemented everything, and I was like, "Oh shit, that does look
did you
pretty cool."
did you have did you have green eyes too?
My eyes were not green, no, but I definitely had the hair though.
Okay.
So, but
my
I
little
also had
pink.
the wrist. I also had the wristbands and shit that Goku wears. So when I wear that coupled with my blue tank top and shit, yeah, I'll be on point.
I hear you, bro.
But
Well,
uh, but
fellas,
in terms of Piccolo though, I can't deny Danny that because I believe that the mental training is more important than the physical. In the instance, this is what I mean. With a strong mind, you could essentially mold whatever you need to. Like, sure, people have physical limitations, but you can work with that in comparison to, say, if you got somebody that's already physically strong, but they have the mind of a weakling. There's not much you can do. And if you're able to crack through that, it's gonna be a struggle, right? So I think that Piccolo would be able to help elevate any sort of mental training. Like he likes to do meditation, so do I. So I would want something from Piccolo and not just only be with Vegeta. I think between Piccolo and Vegeta that I would get that nice balance of training, the mental and the physical that I very much enjoy. That I think when you combine the two, you are very much ahead of most people in the sense that they either have one or neither. And a lot of times people do emphasize the physical over the mental, which to me can be problematic in certain situations.
I agree.
And I'm gonna
Uh,
go pick a Pikachu just because you guys went with the other guy. And,
both of
Yeah,
them
yeah,
nice,
yeah.
man. Both of them nice, man. I can't
yeah,
lie.
I haven't watched Dragon Ball yet, but I definitely have that on my list to watch
Um, all right,
one day.
fellas.
Yeah.
We're at
So
3. Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say that so I guess we're all in agreement that you know that you guys didn't care for the other females and Black Lightning.
No.
Now,
Thunder. I don't tell you that.
what about Cyanide? Like, I think that I like her personality and
Look,
she's
bro.
crazy.
THUNDER. Okay.
Thunder.
Are you hearing the words that come out of my mouth? I
Well,
ain't
yeah,
spelling nobody else's name. I ain't spelling
but
no
you don't think
lightning. I
Cyanide
ain't
would be
spelling
a
no
good bad
mama.
experience?
I ain't
Like,
spelling no cyanide. I ain't spelling no lady, whatever, Jill Scott. No, I ain't looking at none of that stuff. No. No. Thunder. That is
oh,
cherry on the top.
that is the cherry. But what about like the other toppings and
No,
stuff?
no.
You know,
I
get
don't
the
want
most
no
out of cake.
icing. I don't want no cake. I want thunder cherry. Thunder
But I
cherry.
like it. I like the whole cake plus the
Well,
cherry. Like that makes the
well, you have
experience.
them. You can take all them other ones. I'll take thunder. How about that?
But I wouldn't want you just to have one. I mean, you got to at least
Yeah.
have five. You know,
No,
don't
You
don't
got
be
I'm
too
beef
greedy. But
I'm
for
cool with one.
Thunder, bro.
I'm cool with
That ain't mean
one.
your brothers, but if it comes down to blows for Thunder, we going at it, bro.
That's all right.
wait, between who? Between who?
Thunder. If me and Danny have to go at it for Thunder, then we going at it.
I'd be like, damn, Terrence, ain't that Spider Man over there? Go on,
Okay,
Thunder.
first of all, I am not going to fight over no bitch. Like my brothers will always come first. I will let Thunder die before I ruin our friendship. I'm just throwing that out there right
I'm talking about a night in the bed, boy. Thank the bed. I'm gonna have to summon up some kind of ancient Bruce Lee technique or something.
now. First of all, I would just let Thunder know about look, Thunder. You are going to take 31 years of the fact that Terrence has not found a mate. All that 31 years is going to be pumped into you, and by the time my dick comes out of you, you will be stronger. That's what's going to happen.
Oh my goodness, boy, you wild.
Oh shit.
Uh, man, I done tried to end 3 times. I'm ending this time.
No problem.
Next Sunday, 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We will be back tomorrow. Please catch me at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on the other channel, other show, which is called Chaotic Conversation. We will be discussing and ranking the top 5 DC animated movies that we like. Until then, catch you next time. Thanks for all your support. People in the chat. Peace.
Peace.